out, and I mean in a hurry. This thing doesn't look anything like we thought it was going to. Or let me go ahead and back up. We expected that it was going to. But I will tell you this. I did expect to see games like this. I mean, there's not a great deal of margin for error against any team for the Colts on this schedule. That is not. I mean, you take T.Y. out of the equation and Darius Leonard out of the equation, and, you know, whether or not the Raiders are a lot lower, like everybody was going with the Raiders by double digits, and that's why I took the Raiders in the points last week, because I didn't see it, especially if some guys were going to be missing. And then you compound it with the way this defense is playing or not playing. And, man, what was a feel-good possibility of being 3-1 and going into Kansas City to see. Remember that gauge thing that we talked about last week? You know, people were calling saying, you know, it's going to be a really good gauge. Yeah, I think you got that gauge yesterday, and that gauge is not ready for prime time. Not enough. Really, I thought if I'm really judging this team, and you talk about the mistakes, I mentioned the missed tackles, the way that they got out coached defensively, starting right there. Eric Ebron dropping footballs, missed opportunities. I mean, hell, they were lucky. I mean, the Raiders should have had another 7 on the board. Tyrell Williams flat dropped one in the end zone. I knew Derek Carr threw it a little bit behind him, but that was right in his damn hands. That was as close to his hands as any of the 3 were in Eric Ebron's hands. It was almost like a couple of those times. The first time, Ebron had alligator arms. And listen, these guys take hits. Who am I to sit here and say, but that is their gig. That's what it comes with. You get paid a lot of money because you take big hits, whatever. So he alligator on that first one. I think it was the second one. It was on his hands, and it was almost like that thing came in hot. I mean, it came in hotter than what he thought. I don't know. But listen, we've seen this from him before. And he said after the game he had a blanky game, and he did have a blanky game. I mean, he's one of the guys, especially if you're missing T.Y. offensively, and at the end of that game as you're missing Marlon Mack, he is one of the guys that you absolutely have to count on. And if you're Jacoby Brissett, you absolutely have to count on him. Jacoby was 24 for 46, 265. That pick 6, which was basically the nail right there. I didn't think he's very good either. I just thought everything was pretty bad, to be honest. I thought it was a cluster, a mess. And it was a Raider team that looked a hell of a lot more focused to go someplace and get something done because they'd heard a lot about how bad they were. That defense had given up 62 in 2 games. Listen, they were ripe to give up chunk plays too. A couple of different times the Colts simply couldn't take advantage of it. But the defense is a major issue. And if you remember last week, at this time, Rick Venturi and I talked about this defense. He wasn't really strong with where the personnel were being utilized, and I'm sure we'll dive into that a lot today. But you'll have to look back. I think they were in man a lot. I'll have to ask them this. They looked like, to me, that they were in man a lot. There were some times when they were in zone, don't get me wrong, but it looked like they were in man a lot. But there was zero pressure. And when there was pressure, it was just kind of that fly by, you step up, and you have a really sweet passing window, and then your guy's wide open 20-plus yards down the field. Yeah, that's what I gathered for the most part yesterday. It was as ugly as you thought. Yeah, it almost feel like, and I don't know if it's going back to the Falcons game or not, but it felt like that the Raiders were converting on every third down, and they really weren't. And 5 of 12. But hey, they were after it. They were after it, and they were better on both sides of the football. up front offensively, up front defensively, and those are some major. The defensive issues, yeah, we shall see. Now, we start with all the negative and everybody getting mad, and I completely understand why, because that was a game everybody expected this team to win, and you thought going into Sunday night in Arrowhead, again, as I mentioned earlier, that was going to be one huge gauge. And now everybody's thinking you're going to go in there and get lit up by about 50. There is a bit of a silver lining for those of you that get sick and tired of the pissing and the moaning, and the silver lining is, I mean, as long as the wheels don't completely fall off, you should be competitive in the AFC South. And when you're looking at yesterday, I don't know if you feel good about the way things went or bad, because you saw Jacksonville come back against Denver and win on the road. They were down 17 to the second half, led by a rookie quarterback that nobody's ever heard of until 3 weeks ago, Gardner Minshew. I mean, you have Houston yesterday losing at home to the Kyle Allen-led Carolina Panthers. And then inexplicably, you have Tennessee, as bad as they looked 2 weeks ago Thursday night. They rolled down to Atlanta. I mean, look, the Colts had all kinds of struggles defensively trying to hold down the Falcons. We saw that last week. Falcons scored 10 points at home yesterday. 24-10. So I don't know whether to look at that good or this is how this team is playing or bad or whatever. But it seems like that this is certainly a division where you would expect them to be able to hang in. But somebody's got to figure out this defense. They got to figure out this defense in a big hurry. And certainly a lot is going to ride on injury situations. I think we all are well aware of that. It doesn't take a rocket scientist or Vince Lombardi Jr. to come up with that. But yesterday came, I thought, for a Colts team, and, you know, I thought for a Colts team that felt really good. And again, they're in the Falcons game, you had all these penalties, and you can make the argument that the Raiders held them in there too. I mean, heck, the Raiders botch a handoff, for goodness sake, that just handed over 7 for the Colts, so it could have been worse. You know, Jacoby Brissett doesn't look off a DB and throws it, hits him right between the numbers. There are some times that Brissett throws a football that it looks like it gets up on these dudes before they're ready for it. I mean, it does. And that sounds like an excuse, and I'm not trying to make it as an excuse. And I'm not trying to make excuses for Ebron at all, because, I mean, Ebron called himself out for 3 drops, and they were major, especially when you're counting on the dude. But anybody else ever watching it? It looks like these guys, a lot of these guys have this ball getting up on them. And Deion Kane is still trying. Yeah, it's just a bad overall game. It really was. I was trying to think of a handful of dudes that played well. I thought our guy on Friday, Zach Pascal, played well. Had a great catch over the middle. I know it was 4 for 72 in a game. But defensively, that's it. I mean, you got to be able to stop somebody, and frankly, they haven't stopped anybody in a game and a half, at least. And we'll see what happens coming up against Kansas City. I did not watch the Chiefs and the Lions yesterday, and the Lions held in until the very end. But I didn't watch it yesterday to see what happened. We'll get to Rick Venturi about the Chiefs. A couple of things I want to know. I want to know if Tyreek Hill is going to be back next Sunday night. Is that the expectation? And I also, from Rick, I want to get him. He's going to absolutely lay into the defense, which they deserve it. And he's going to prop up John Gruden for the way that I thought offensively he was really good. I thought they were really good. So he's going to lay into a lot of that Colts-wise, but I also want to get his thoughts on Kansas City, because we still kind of go off that Chiefs team that we saw a year ago, and there have been some changes, especially defensively across the board. We'll get his thoughts on what he saw yesterday with the Chiefs on the road, winning at Detroit, remaining unbeaten this NFL season at 4-0, and that's your Sunday Nighter as we get you started coming up on Sunday, late Sunday afternoon next week on the Colts pregame huddle. We'll be in studio here, so we'll see what happens. I'll get my man Petro on from KC. I go on there. He comes on here. He's a good dude, and we'll talk about the Chiefs a little bit later on this week as well. But, yeah, I'd agree with you. It was awful yesterday, and it just had the feeling the first two drives, that first one where there was just zero resistance. I mean, nothing. And, yeah, now you got your fingers crossed on Marlon Mack. Kind of wonder how you view T.Y. Hilton. Here's my thought on T.Y. Hilton for a lot of you that are asking this question. I expect T.Y. Hilton, when he is the least bit healthy to play, he's not going to think about it as some dork like me or somebody like you that thinks, well, you know what? Logically, you're not going to win Sunday night. Then you're going to get the bye week, so you get that time to and really be ready after the bye week. He's not going to look at it that way. That dude's going to get back out there whenever he is able to get back out there. And then I'm sure his thought is get back out there, help the team, and then take that bye week to rest and get right for the remainder of the season. So he didn't look at it that way. But I know a lot of you are asking. A lot of you are asking about Marlon Mack. Well, it was clear a couple of different times yesterday defensively, Leonard being missing, Hooker being missing. But it's just another damn year where it seems like up front, and Marcus Hunt, Marcus Hunt missed a tackle late, and it just, the defensive line, I don't know, maybe Rick will say differently, but the defensive line looks just awful right now. Awful. I mean, they had a little bit of pop about them. Defense had a little bit of pop about them in the final month and a half of the season. That's why everybody raised the bar on them, and it through 3 weeks, it looks like a regression. And, you know, blame injuries. And listen, Hooker's a big deal. Leonard's a big deal. Don't get me wrong. Hooker's really going to be a big deal this weekend. But I just thought, more so than anything else, I just thought the Raiders were a hell of a lot tougher where it counted. And where everybody says it. And it's incredibly cliched, but that was up front. I thought they were a hell of a lot stronger on both sides of the football right up front. And the Colts, for whatever reason, didn't have it. If you blame that on coaching, I know a lot of you want to blame it on coaching. I mean, I shouldn't say get into it because I don't get into it on Twitter. Like, I've gotten into it like a couple of dudes that, you know, questioned my integrity of what I do, which is dumb as hell. But it's very lightweight stuff because you guys know I don't like to do that. But we were kind of going back and forth yesterday with, you know, Wright clearly got out coached and he's not this, and you guys got to stop kissing his butt. You got to stop kissing the butt of Ballard. Hey, listen, this is a weekly thing, and I told you these things are going to be tied all the way through. And it's not just cliched what I told you back in week number 1. They could win games that we think they shouldn't be winning, and they're going to lose games that we go, what? That is the way this team looks. I'm going to say that a loss yesterday is not surprising, but in the fashion in which it was delivered is, and should be unacceptable, and should be embarrassing to a lot of those guys. I mean, hell, I'm sure they hold the toughness and the quality of their play at a high standard. That has to be unacceptable for them. You know, and missed tackles. I mean, just miscues. I mean, it's easy to say that this Raider team was ripe and, oh, man, they're not going to be home in 49. First of all, their home is not even really their home, all right? I guess they're not going to be back to where they all have apartments. They're not going to be back to the place where you flush the toilet and it leaks right out onto the 50-yard line. Yeah, for 49 days. I know that's a really big reason to say that they were ripe to knock off the Colts who were thinking ahead. That wasn't, to me, that's not trap game. That's not thinking ahead game. That was out-toughed, outsmarted, out-everythinged to an embarrassing level for them. All right, JMV at 1070thefan.com is the email address. I'll get some tweets in here. We'll get some of your thoughts in here. You guys are all angry. Here's what happened. Just funny. And like on Twitter, when the Colts lose or Miles Turner plays bad, it's like, you ever notice my Twitter? I just like get lit up. I didn't play one damn down. All right? Not one. You guys are all kissing the ass of Chris Ballard. Nobody's kissing the ass of Chris Ballard. It's just judging week after week. We'll just say this. They got it done against the Falcons last week, and it wasn't impressive. And the red carpet was laid out for them with penalties, but they still won. They won the week prior to that and then lost in week number 1 because the GOAT, the 46-year-old kicker, couldn't deliver PATs or field goals. So that's why I didn't think, you know what, I'm going to put this in the lap of Chris Ballard. I mean, I use a little bit of logic here. I know you guys are all pissed. I got to find this too. Where is this? It was either a tweet or an email, and I apologize. I can't quite recollect, but it was just the overall game day experience. Oh, my gosh, I had to step behind a drunk, and my cheeseburger sucked, and team sucks, and that's just kind of what happened. That's why I say this. Go to Bullseye and just, listen, get a snootful, get a little joy in you, get going, then go over there no matter what happens. All right? It dials down your irritation just a little bit. Just go. Take my advice and go. I'm really not trying to sell it for him right now, but I love him, and you know that. I just think it's altogether better for everybody else. Go to Bullseye, get a little bit of a snootful, get some great food, feel good, go over there, and your game day experience is made, and you don't have to go and say, I had a bad cheeseburger and everything sucked. That's it. And everybody calling out Frank Reich. Listen, did I think Frank Reich and really all the coaches, I put Frank in the category too because he's the head coach and it's all on his shoulders. I'm not saying anything that he wouldn't say as well. But did this team defensively, I thought they were shredded coaching-wise. Now, offensively, they were still able to move the ball. I just don't view miscues or drops or, a ridiculous pick six down the stretch. Well, and listen, I'm not all over Jacoby. I will say this. If the last quarterback would have done that, that's all anybody would be talking about today. Because what, he doesn't have it or whatever he didn't have. Something he didn't have. All right. Well, what he didn't have was the wherewithal not to throw it right between the DB's numbers. So, yeah, that's an issue, and it's not just an easy issue. It is an issue because they were right there. And that's one of those things that you do still have to look at Jacoby and say, all right, well, there was a drive and a chance to go down and tie, and you make matters worse. So you can't get around it. I mean, you judge him just like you would judge anybody else. Brad wants to know how much a snootful might be. I just know this. I'm a big Andy Griffith fan, and Otis Campbell always came into the jail with a snootful. I don't think you have to look like Otis Campbell or anything when you roll in to Lucas Oil Stadium, but listen, just get yourself a little bit of a buzz, right? And feel good. And be ready and drink responsibly. Just have a couple because you can walk right across the street. All good. Is it already 3:24? I've talked for 24 minutes. Holy crap, I didn't even know that. Sorry about it. Hey, let's do some calls here. I'm going to let you guys yap a little bit too. 239-1070. Email address is jmv at 1070thefan.com. Hey, thanks, you guys. The B105.7 JMV takeover was awesome. You guys were great on Saturday night. And for those asking, if you want me to put together something like that for your business, if I could do anything with technology, I'll try to do it. But, man, it was fun. It was like that and then going to Harrah's Hoosier Park in Anderson, the two fun things that happened this weekend. because watching IU lose in typical IU fashion, although Michael Penix was really good, that wasn't any fun. And watching Purdue lose skill position, their best players, and then lose a must-win at home to Minnesota, that wasn't any fun. So I had to give people the fun on Saturday night. And you guys were great. Absolutely great. And hopefully we do it again. So shout out to Sean Copeland and Eric Allen for letting me do that. And Chris Woolridge, who ran things for me because I can't run a board or do anything with technology. But the best part about it is we do all requests from 6 until 10, and you guys call in, and literally I have no idea what I'm playing until the final 45 seconds of the song that is on. It is awesome. That is old school right there, and I dig it. Quick one. We'll come back. Emails, tweets, Facebook messages, phones. Do we have anything to give away this week? I haven't seen anything, have we? We do have Rick Venturi at 4:30. He's going to be all over this like you wouldn't believe. Back with you next.
I'm Chris Wright with CBS 4. Weather doesn't wait for the next newscast, so we make sure you're always up to date with the latest information. On air, online, or even in the palm of your hand, we're your one-stop shop for what's happening now. And unlike those national weather apps, I can tell you if the storm will hit in Hamilton or Hendricks County, Pike or Perry Township, bringing you the most up-to-date weather when and where you want it. So if you watch us on air, follow us on Facebook, or stream us online, we'll make sure you're in the know. That's Your Weather Now on CBS 4.
CBS Tonight has all new comedies starting with The Neighborhood. And from Chuck Lorre comes the new comedy Bob Hearts Have a Shola.
You're on a break.
We have 28 minutes.
Sounds like speed dating.
This is not a date.
Okay, 27 minutes.
Then, she's LA's newest Superior Court judge.
You're going to be one of those creative judges. You say it like it's a bad thing.
All Rise, followed by a new bull, CBS Tonight.
It all starts at 8, followed by CBS 4 News at 11.
I'll talk to Dad and we'll help you figure something out. Okay, bye.
Talk to me about what?
Nick has a fever. Can you believe his insurance won't even cover a basic doctor visit?
Oh, all right. Well, we'll help him out this time, but he's got to get some better benefits. This job isn't cutting it.
Susan's son just started as a union electrician apprentice.
Huh. You know, I play golf with a couple of union guys, and they say it's great. One of them's even about to retire early.
I'm calling Nick back. He's got to hear this.
This is Steve Minzer, business manager for the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 481. Being a union electrician is rewarding. Our members earn good pay, full health care, and benefits that allow many to retire before the age of 60. Plus, our hands-on craftsmen get to see what they accomplish daily, something not always visible with a desk job. So if this sort of career sounds like a fit for a young person you know, someone reliable with a good attitude, learn more at ibew481.org.
Hi, I'm John. Let's get you some dome coverage. Who out there wishes they had a little bit more to cover up top than they have right now, or you feel the effects of hair loss, thinning forehead into a 5-head, and man, you want the old school days where you're like Fonzarelli in the mirror, and you don't have to comb it because you say, hey, that's how I look. Hair looks great. Let Darren Andrews take a whack at it here with WeGrowHairIndy.com, 888-724-5129, PRP, platelet-rich plasma. It works. I don't know what else they do. I just know that they shake your blood up like this and, you know, get a little shots there in your dome, and all of a sudden your hair starts growing again. It's a beautiful thing. It's your real hair, too. No toupee, no adhesives, nothing glued on, no Elmers. It is your real growing hair with PAI. 888-724-5129 or WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
Retirement. That one word can really put a smile on my face. And with Anthem Medicare, I'm going to keep my smile shining as bright as ever. I have to. Think of all that my smile has done for me. It's been with me in the best of times and has gotten me through the hardest of times. I've shared it with close friends and used it to make new friends. I've put effort into my smile with regular teeth cleanings because I can't imagine a life without it. So, for my next phase, Medicare, being able to keep my smile in check is important to me.
Anthem has plans that include benefits that other plans don't, including dental, vision, and hearing. Knowing you could keep your smile shining, that's the benefit of Medicare from Anthem. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Anthem Insurance Companies, Inc. Anthem is a Medicare Advantage and prescription drug plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Anthem depends on contract renewal.
I love Fox 59.
Scott, Lindy,
Angela and Ray.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing.
Fox 59 have fun, but at the same time, they let you know what's going on right then.
You know, traffic, weather.
Jim O'Brien's the best. He makes it entertaining to watch the weather.
We watch it every morning.
Every day.
I always like to see where Sherman is.
I'm watching Fox 59 at 6 in the morning.
I like that it's on till 10. That's one of the great things. Not everything has to be so serious.
Love it. My favorite.
Fox 59 is the bomb.
Fox Tonight.
Dad's a serial killer?
I became a profiler and hunted down people like him.
Prodigal Son. Fall's most anticipated new drama returns.
I want you to remember something. We're the same.
Critics call Prodigal Son quite a thrill.
There's so much more I can teach you about murder.
I don't need your help.
But first, an all-new 911.
Oh my God.
Get off the pier!
New 911, followed by new Prodigal Son.
Tonight, starting at 8 on Fox 59, followed by Fox 59 News at 10.
Hey, it's JMV for BullseyeEventGroup.com and the Colts VIP Tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. It is the best party ever. It makes your entire game day experience the best that it can be. All you can eat. Celebrity chef Aaron May prepares. All you can drink. Top shelf everything. And DJ Indiana Jones and DJ Skids along with me doing a radio show. It's the absolute best. Get your passes right now. Up next for the Texans game with BullseyeEventGroup.com.
Think you know Colts football, but do you really know what's happening? It's not just football season. It's Venturi season.
Brought to you by the District Tap, craft beer on tap and damn good food. North at 82nd Street, just east of Keystone at the Crossing, and now downtown at Georgia Street and Meridian.
Catch the coach every Monday at 4:30 with JMV, with bonus Coach Venturi. Tuesdays on the Fan Morning Show with Jeff and Big Joe, and later with Dan Dockage on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Bullish Brents hanging and banging with you until the 8 o'clock hour. Coming up, we have artists such as Living Color and the Fine Young Cannibals right now. Here's Roxette, The Look, 89.9 WROL.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Hey, quick shout to Big Joe Stasniak, who called in Saturday night to make a request for New Order Blue Monday. He said, oh, yes, for my wife. I went, yeah, okay. And Big Joe called in. Denary called in and wanted to hear Earth, Wind, and Fire, Let's Groove. And JJ called in for Van Halen's Jump. Well done. Hey, Fat Number Thursday. Didn't go very well. Alabama puts up 59 points and can't cover 37.5. They give up 31 to Ole Miss. Oklahoma covered, minus 27. Texas A&M only won by 3, I think. That was a 23.5 point spread against the Hogs. There you go. Fat Number Thursday. Well, 2 out of 3 did not. All right, Colts lost. Colts fans are angry. Everybody's lashing out. Everybody has an issue. It's from Bobby in Greenwood writes this. I thought Jacoby played reasonably well for the lack of a running game and the receivers not helping at all. He made the one bad decision on the pick 6, but other than that, I thought he played well. Listen, I didn't think he was bad, but that's a pretty damn big, it's a big wart right there. I mean, it's big. Well, last year's quarterback, you guys would still be whining about it. I'd be getting everybody, all you want to do is brown nose. Ooh. You do stuff for the Colts. That's a pretty big wart right there. Listen, I agree with part of what you said, but you still get that's a bad deal. Let's do some calls. I owe you here. Chris is at 239-1070. Chris, go ahead.
Yes, JMV, I was just wondering why there was no onside kick yesterday.
Because Frank said that the percentages of getting an onside kick are so low that he felt that he should kick away and lean on his defense, which I completely disagreed with. Well, wonderful. Now, I will tell you this. I disagreed with it, but it's not like I felt that anything was going to work. You give yourself at least 2 incredibly small percentage chances to get the ball back. And honestly, what is it like when you perform the onside kick and get the ball? What's the percentage? Is it like 8%? Is it lower than 8? What do you think the Colts stopping the Raiders on that final drive was going to be? A 3 and out. The Colts stopping the Raiders from getting 10 yards. So, to me, I thought, yeah, you know what? Take a shot. Try to get it back twice. But I just thought, listen, do I think that cost him the game? No. I mean, really, a lot of the ineptitude defensively, out front, really both sides of the football, miscues. I don't know if that cost him the game, but you know, if I'm the head coach, I would have thought, okay, we can try it here, and then if it doesn't work, which it probably won't, then we'll see what the defense can do. And listen, I understand. I mean, when you get it back, and then, you know, what happens if you kick a field goal? I don't know. It just seemed like kicking it away to the defense was a measure of being done. Done. I mean, anybody else feel that? What'd you think? Should they have onside kicked or kicked away?
I probably would have kicked it away still.
Really? Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. I would have probably onside kicked. Listen, like I said, I wasn't angered about it. Now, I can't believe it. What a major coaching error or blunder. I just thought that's what I would have done because I was at a point where I didn't think that defense was going to stop anybody anyway, and it wouldn't have mattered because they wouldn't have stopped anybody, but at least you give yourself more of a chance than kicking away and, you know, watching this defense perform at a low level that it did yesterday. There's a thought. JMV, what's the percentage of a 3 and out with a soft bend but don't break defense? That's exactly what I was thinking. Exactly. And listen, I don't think it's anywhere near like 8% or 3% or anything like that, like onside kicks, but yesterday it felt like a measure of white flag waving. And it wasn't. That's not what they were doing, but it just felt like, you know what? I would have taken a couple of outside chances because really, what'd you have to lose? What'd you have to lose? I just thought about this, and I didn't want to come in here and make a lot of a deal about it, but I just thought, what'd you have to lose? Just a thought. Hey, JMV, on a lighter note, after yesterday's game, Friday night after you left Blue Friday at Mikey's, I told the crowd, Johnny and I go way back. I met him when we were both competing in the All-Valley Under-18 Karate Tournament, and I beat him. Laura interrupted me and said, no, that's the plot of the Karate Kid. You're confused because you've been watching Cobra Kai. Many laughs were had. That's well done, Rico. Thank you. Hey, JMV, do you think Jacoby makes up his mind where he's going in the huddle? Some of those deep balls and triple, quadruple coverage, plus the pick six, made it seem like he made up his mind. I don't know if he's making up his mind. And I fully expected this. I'm not that mad about it either. I just think that those situations are those where he is uncomfortable. He has been really comfortable with what? With the running of the football, with the offensive execution, and you got basically zilcho of that. I mean, you got guys dropping passes. You got Marlon Mack out. You don't have, offensive line play that you have seen. There was a lot of pressure on him. I just think the Raiders put him, as we knew this was going to happen, in an incredibly uncomfortable position. And that was new this season to him for the most part. For the most part. I mean, you can say what you want. The drive where he threw the pick six, everybody talks about gauges. I'm going to gauge this team and, gauge this player and gauge this and gauge that. I mean, if you really wanted to put that was a moment where, all right, you got the ball back. You're a touchdown down and go make something happen. I mean, that's just how you look at it. But I agree with you on the defensive stop stuff. And on third down, when it seems like there's a 15-yard, I'm going to ask Rick this at 4:30, like a 15-yard cushion given. There are a couple of different times, especially on third downs, where like there would be 3 Colts defensive players around the football, but they're around the football and not near it. And then Derek Carr, for the most time, had time to step up if he wanted to, if he needed to maneuver around in the pocket. If there was lucky enough for this defense to give an initial surge toward the quarterback, toward Derek Carr, he just kind of sidestepped it leisurely, boom. Something's got to be done about that. Jerry talks pick at 239-1070. Jerry, welcome to the show.
How you doing, sir?
Go ahead.
I love listening to you guys. As many balls that were dropped by the Colts. Now, from the first snap, I thought that we were just lethargic. We didn't even want to play that game, I don't believe. But I thought at the end there when Kobe threw that straight at the defense that he wanted to find out if anybody could catch one of his footballs, But they'll come back, and I really believe in them. But I don't believe that they played good ball at all. Either side.
Well, they sucked really bad yesterday. Jerry, thank you for the call. They didn't play good ball. They sucked really bad. I'll give you a great example here before the break. You guys saw an example of what the Raiders look like early. And, got out, got up, and got on the Colts offensively immediately. And that's how the Falcons' defense looked in the first half against the Colts last week. The Colts looked like that they were 3 plays ahead. They had the Falcons' defense tied up in knots. And that, to me, was virtually the same as to what you saw offensively from John Gruden and the Raiders yesterday to start that game. Just tied up in knots. That's what I felt. Anybody else? Let's do some calls on the other side. Rick Venturi, 4:30. Quick break. We're back with you next.
The Raiders' first interception of 2019 proved to be the difference maker in a 31-24 upset over the Colts at Lucas Oil Stadium. With this Bet Indiana News Update, I'm Kevin Bowen. Oakland, which went off as a 5.5-point underdog, cashed at plus 215 on the money line in the win. The knockout blow for Indy came via Eric Harris's 30-yard pick six of Jacoby Brissett right before the 2-minute warning to put the visitors up 31-17. Indianapolis, which had won 7 straight at home prior to Sunday, now travels to Kansas City in Week 5. The Chiefs are 10-point favorites with a total of 57 points. Monday Night Football sees a pair of winless AFC North teams battle in Pittsburgh as the Steelers lay 3.5 points to the Bengals. The Steelers have won 8 straight against Cincinnati. The Bengals have lost 5 straight dating back to last year, but they are 6-1 against the spread over their last 7 games and 6-0 against the spread in their last 6 away from Paul Brown Stadium. This sports betting update has been brought to you by Bet Indiana News. Visit betindiananews.com for more sports betting coverage and insights.
With mortgage rates in the 2s, you have choices. Lower your monthly payment, pay off credit cards, buy a new house. Golden Oak Lending has lowered mortgage rates to 2.875.
And that's a fixed rate. This is James Hawkins. If you're struggling with credit card debt, we can help you pay it off at a low rate.
At 2.875, now's the time to fix the house. Finish the basement. You have so many choices.
We're easy to work with, and we'll give you a free mortgage checkup right over the phone, so you can find out exactly how much you can save. Or apply online at goldenoaklending.com with our fast Zipline mortgage.
Call our Indy office at 317-706-GOLD. 706-GOLD.
Our experts will walk you through it all. And if we can't close your loan, the appraisal is no charge.
Golden Oak Lending, cured by blue.
NMLS 114937, FHA 15-year fixed, APR 3.915, 20% equity with approved credit. Regulated by the Indiana Department of Financial Institutions.
Hey, John here for PAI. It's WeGrowHairIndy.com, 888-724-5129. Rick DeMullen, who comes on every Tuesday, can tell you all about it because he sprouted some new locks, too, courtesy of PRP and Darren Andrews of PAI. Multi-unit hair grafting, artist robotic FUE, laser hair therapy, it works. Regrowth of your hair, it can happen. Not a pipe dream, but for real. 888-724-5129 or WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
A gift of Shane Company jewelry is special and will be loved every day. You can easily find a gift from under $100 to well over $10,000. Because we eliminate all middlemen and their markups, whatever your budget, you'll get the best value.
If you prefer to buy online, go to Shanco.com. You can shop by price, by style, or by stone. If you'd like some guidance, chat online with one of our experts. Buy online and pick up in store for a last-minute gift.
Or shop in our store and you'll see the exceptional sparkle of our diamonds, rubies, sapphires, and colorful gemstones. Hold our lustrous pearls in your hands. You'll experience our jewelry's superior craftsmanship and design. Our non-commissioned jewelry experts will help you find the perfect gift.
Whether you're celebrating a birthday, an anniversary, marking a special event, or just because, give a gift that will last forever at the best price.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
An effective defense often hinges on sophisticated strategies relating to income tax projections, business valuations, spousal support claims. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Indianapolis area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 317-322-0122 or visit online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Indianapolis. Cordell & Cordell, 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1100, Indianapolis, Indiana 46204.
Go trackside with Kurt Cavan and Kevin Lee. Tomorrow evening at 6 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
I am in the parking lot right now, hammering a bacon, egg, and cheese, hold the cheese, in preparation to go deep with 4 hits and put on a laser show to the likes of which you have never witnessed in your entire life.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Receivers split out wide to the right side. Ball in the far hash. Brissett out of the gun. Makes a shotgun snap. Backs to throw. Looking, has time. Wings it over the middle. And it's a catch. What a catch. Zach Pascal inside Raider territory. Down to the 39-yard line. First down, Zach Pascal.
Matt Taylor, Colts Radio. I'm going to give that the Farm Credit Union Dream Moment of the Week, presented by Farm Credit Union, helping members live their financial dreams every day. Not because I was thinking about doing it now, but because we had Zach on the show on Friday, and I like him, and I thought he had a nice game. 4 catches, 72 yards. That was a big catch right there, and I like him. Farm Credit Union, helping you live your financial dreams. See? Happens right there. Very... as Know Nothing consultants will tell people in radio, that was very unique and organic right there. Well done. From Vid, hey, JMV, by uncomfortable position, do you mean like in the backseat of a Volkswagen? No. No, I mean, with the heat coming, defensive line chasing him, trying to sack him, down 7 on a drive. Let's face it. I mean, to be fair, you got to gauge it. I'm not putting everything on his shoulders. I'm not saying he was the root cause. I'm not at all. But you got to look at it. And, there's nothing easy about it or any ridiculousness like that. It's just a fact. It's a fact. He just still looks a lot more comfortable, like any quarterback would, when you're able to run the football and your plays are being executed nicely. It's from Andrew. Where is Margus Hunt? Well, I'm assuming probably needing to grab some bench. Not much going on there. JMV, Colts D was so much better against the run last year with the same guys this year. What are they doing different? I will say this. I thought Jamal Sheard was good. Jamal Sheard, I thought, played well. First time we've seen him in a while. Can you imagine if he had not been out there, what things might have looked like? And they made defensively, LaMarcus Joyner, I mean, he looked like a combination Derek Brooks, Ed Reed, He's coming up and making tackles, running all over the field, deflecting passes. He's doing everything. They made that guy look great. I mean, it's almost like they said, hey, here's the playbook. Here you go. Night before. He's all over the place. Hey, JMV, what does Matt Taylor mean when he says right to left? It frustrates me when he says it because I don't know what it means. Right to left is, all right, so if you're looking out into space, let's see, Cole, you're driving. Right to left means that is the direction that the Colts are going. They're moving right to left on your radio dial, and you can't say that anymore because it's 1979 and you had a radio dial, and you guys really don't have a dial anymore, if you know what I mean. But just you're looking out in space. Right to left means that they are going right to left. That's the way that the offense is moving. It helps paint a picture for you that you don't have because you're listening to the radio. Now, if he ever says they're moving from top to bottom, then be confused. They're moving from top to bottom. But no, that's what he means, Cole. Okay, they're going this direction. I don't even know how many people think that. I just know I'm so old, like JMV 88 was taught in radio play-by-play class that you use, whatever, left to right on your radio dial, right to left on your radio dial, but now we don't have radio dials anymore. So they're moving right to left. I hope that helps, Cole. I'm here to help. JMV, it's like on third down, the Colts D backs up far enough to give the first down. Boy, they do, don't they? They absolutely do. New name here says, well, last year's guy was the highest paid player in the history of the team, though. Listen, but this year's guy is the quarterback. He's the guy. He is the guy. So that's how you have to start looking at it. He's the guy. And the guy can't make a mistake like that. JMV, what if you're listening to the game from the other side of the stadium? Nah, I mean, you're still kind of, I don't know. See, Covey, don't screw up my day with a question like that. See, now Kyle's explaining it to people. Hey, Matt, if you're driving around right now, call in here and tell them what you mean by right to left. Because I explained it well, I thought. So somebody just asked you what I meant?
He wanted to know what top to bottom was.
Well, I know what top to bottom is. Well, I vaguely remember what top to bottom is. As far as I know, it still means that. That's pretty funny, you guys. You guys make me laugh. Hey, JMV, all these losers that talk so tough about Chris Ballard would absolutely kiss his ass if they ever met him in person. Fake tough is BS. Fake tough. Hey, I do have to apologize to Buckeye Heavy because he sent a tweet and it was kind of funny and I fired one back, and that's a problem that you have unless you're just a complete butthole, right? Unless you're just an ass. The problem that you have with social media, especially Twitter, is you have no protection from the interpretation of other people, right? So other people thought that I was ripping on this guy because of the interpretation, but he was actually ripping on the other guy that was ripping on me for, I guess, kissing the ass of Frank Reich, which I guess I do. Do I? So that's what happens. Then it's open to interpretation, and I was just trying to make a joke, and you guys lit up this dude all night, and I felt bad by that. It's my bad. Kenny writes this. This is Corey Kenny. He lives in the state of Michigan. But other than that egregious error in location, he's a really good dude. Dude asking, what if you're listening from the other side of the stadium just made my day? No, don't ever say that Covey made your day, all right? Covey's not making anybody's day. Hey, JMV, I do like Matt's touchdown take when he spells out I-N-D-Y. I had the radio call on as the television announcers were lame. Cardinals Jack, 2019 NL Central champions. I'm sorry. I'm not a Cubs fan, and you guys think that I'm going to have a motive about this. I don't. I like Joe Madden, and I think that's dumb as hell to get rid of him. Or to at least not be able to get along to where he wants to leave or is okay with leaving, or you meet in the middle and Theo and Jeb want him to leave, therefore he wants to leave, or he doesn't like them, so he wants, whatever. I think it's stupid. Stupid. Dumb. I mean, to me, the way that team performed this year, or certainly underperformed, had a hell of a lot less to do what he was doing managerially. That's just me, though. I wish Dusty Baker was still the Reds manager. Well, no, I know. I let these guys hang around forever if they want. Hey, man, I'm over it. Let me get back. 4 o'clock hour, me, you, 239-1070. Hoosiers disappointed, but we've been down this avenue before. But I got to tip the cap to Michael Penix. He was really good on Saturday. And Boilermakers lose players, lose the game, lost season. We shall see. Quick shout-out, my guys from Golden Black Illustrated. That's Tom Dienhart. I believe Tom Dienhart is going to be there today. I got to explain exactly where this is. I had it ready to go. Alan Karpick and Tom Dienhart are going to be at Smee's on Indy's North Side tonight, talking Boilermaker football. I don't know what Smee, S-M-E-E apostrophe S, Smee's. And I'm guessing it's a great place. Smee's, North Side, talking Boilermaker stuff later on tonight. They're good dudes. Go check it out. Quick break, hour 2, straight ahead.
At Dreyer & Reinbold Infinity, you can purchase the 2019 QX80 with 0% APR for up to 60 months. You can lease the 2019 QX50 Lux all-wheel drive for just $459 per month, then KF147088. Or you can also lease the 2020 QX60 Lux all-wheel drive for just $499 per month, then LC509604. Leases based on 39 months, $2,500 down, 10,000 miles per year plus tax. No security deposit, requires approved credit, and $199 dealer dock fee. Offers expire at the end of the month. You can lease the QX50 for $459, the QX60 for $499, and QX80 for as little as 0% APR. At Dreyer & Reinbold Infinity, I-465 in Keystone, and US 31 South in Greenwood, or at DreyerReinboldInfinity.com.
Hey, add a little bit of lettuce on top there. Yeah, your hair. It's JMV for PAI. WeGrowHairAndy.com. If you don't want to go bald, I'm giving you options. And options in life are the best. The option of hair regrowth is right here. 888-724-5129. Make that call. Talk to Darren Andrews. If you're watching on YouTube right now, I'm actually showing you how to do it. YouTube, the fan page. Make that call, 888-724-5129. See small finger and thumb used as a phone here, right? 888-724-5129. Go online to WeGrowHairAndy.com and find out about multi-unit hair grafting, Artist Robotic FUE, and everything that will get your hair back. The regrowth again, if you want it, with PAI. 888-724-5129 or WeGrowHairAndy.com today.
With mortgage rates in the 2s, you have choices. Lower your monthly payment, pay off credit cards, buy a new house. Golden Oak Lending has lowered mortgage rates to 2.875.
And that's a fixed rate. This is James Hawkins. If you're struggling with credit card debt, we can help you pay it off at a low rate.
At 2.875, now's the time to fix the house. Finish the basement. You have so many choices.
We're easy to work with, and we'll give you a free mortgage checkup right over the phone, so you can find out exactly how much you can save. Or apply online at GoldenOakLending.com with our fast Zipline mortgage.
Call our Indy office at 317-706-GOLD. 706-GOLD.
Our experts will walk you through it all, and if we can't close your loan, the appraisal is no charge.
Golden Oak Lending, cured my blues.
NMLS 114937, FHA 15-year fixed, APR 3.915, 20% equity with approved credit. Regulated by the Indiana Department of Financial Institutions.
I love Fox 59.
Scott, Lindy, Angela, and Ray.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing.
Fox 59 have fun, but at the same time, they let you know what's going on right then.
You know, traffic, weather. Jim O'Brien's the best. He makes it entertaining to watch the weather.
We watch it every morning.
Every day.
Always like to see what Sherman is.
I'm watching Fox 59 at 6 in the morning.
I like that it's on till 10. That's one of the great things. Not everything has to be so serious.
Love it. My favorite.
Fox 59 is the bomb.
Fox tonight.
Dad's a serial killer. I became a profiler and hunted down people like him.
Prodigal Son. Fall's most anticipated new drama returns.
I want you to remember something. We're the same.
Critics call Prodigal Son quite a thrill.
There's so much more I can teach you about murder.
I don't need your help.
But first, an all-new 911.
Oh my God.
Get off the pier!
New 911, followed by new Prodigal Son.
Tonight, starting at 8 on Fox 59, followed by Fox 59 News at 10.
John here, helping you learn how, through Forum Credit Union, to save money. Be more comfortable financially, especially if you're in the middle of buying or building a home. It can be overwhelming, but let Kevin and the gang at Forum Credit Union help ease those heavy thoughts. It's a free home buyer spotlight session to help you get started coming up in October and November. You want to make sure you have these dates set because if you are building or buying a new home, this informationally is a can't miss. So stop by a branch location, tell Kevin that I sent you, or for the dates and the times for this free home buyer spotlight session, all that information you need online, forumcu.com today.
Pierce Jewelers in Carmel wants to take you on the trust side of the jewelry industry with the 4 E's: education, experience, equipment, and expertise. Pierce Jewelers' team has over 140 years jewelry experience. Their expertise is not only in sales, but in jewelry and watch repair, appraisals, and custom design, all done in-house. You often hear the 4 C's on diamonds and how the direct importers are bigger and cheap with no competition. Pierce Jewelers proves that a family jeweler can compete in today's world. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers in Carmel.
This is Indy Sports Center. WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BV, W228CX, Indianapolis. Carmel travels to Ben Davis on Friday Night Football. The action begins at 7 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
I don't understand a word you just said.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
All right, Rick Venturi, bottom of the hour. Make sure you're here for that, all right? I'm going to get in deeply into the lack of defense, what we've seen so far, Colts being 2-2. So it's the first time since the merger that every team in the division has been 2-2 through 4 games. Wonderful. Texans, Colts, Jaguars, Titans all 2-2. AFC, 2 unbeaten teams, which I believe, no, I'm sorry, the Niners are still unbeaten. They had a bye week, right? They 3-0. So you have 3 unbeaten teams, 2 of which are 4-0 by virtue of wins yesterday. That would be the Patriots, as Bill Polian used to reference it, the Patriots, and the Chiefs. Chiefs on the schedule next Sunday night for the Colts at Arrowhead. You know, it's really odd about yesterday. How many of you took it severely in the can from the outcome, wagering-wise, of all these games yesterday? I mean, who took a beating? We were going over my picks, and really, I'm not proud of myself for this, but it's so me. So I go through, make all my picks last Wednesday because we did our larceny locks and our Luna Azul shots at the Free Spirit in Castleton last Wednesday. Brent Halverson and I did them, right? So I did all my picks that Wednesday. And, you know, I make them, I put those in to make them official inside our ESPN weekly pick'em that Kyle's doing, we're all doing with you guys. Well, numbnuts me forgot to hit submit. So I missed every stinking game. Although I think I got it. I saw it in time to get the Sunday night game, which I missed, and the Monday night game tonight submitted. So I submitted 2 games, one of which I've already lost. So I've lost every one, but it's probably a savvy play because looking at it, I think I probably would have won 3 yesterday. You would have won maybe 5, Kyle. Is that what you were saying? And I know you sports wagerers that certainly might be new, or some of you savvy sports wagerers took it hard yesterday. Because there was some odd stuff. Like in the New England, they didn't cover. What was the spread there? They didn't cover because did Gostkowski miss an extra point?
Yep. They wouldn't. They only won 16-10. They were 7.5.
All right, so they wouldn't have covered anyway. Or if you'd had that, I think it started at 7. If you'd had that game at 7, then he would have at least pushed. Wow. That's a zinger right there. So we took it. I'm going to be interested to see how many of you also took it inside our pick'em. And by the way, we give away prizes of liquid, free liquid for everybody, enjoyable liquid for everybody every week, courtesy of Larceny Bourbon, Luna Azul Tequila, and Brent Halverson. And if you still want to find it and participate, you can. The year-long winner gets a ton of free liquid. But we also give away weekly stuff. Nate Waterford from Ellettsville writes this: Live Throwing Copper is a top 10 rock album all time. I do like it, I do. And they were even better in concert back in the day. That little bald guy was pretty good. That was his name, Ed Kowalczyk. He was an entertaining little bald guy. JMV, goodness, how many ways are there to interpret right to left? Like one. It's from Pam Brown. Hey, listen, I am the hub of education and information here. So if there's somebody that does not know, I feel the need when asked to pass it along. Like this latest nugget, courtesy of my man, Romy. Romanek tells me that, let me get to it. Way to be prepared. This is the location of Smee's, where both Tom Dienhart and Alan Carpick are going to be at Golden Black Illustrated tonight. Smee's, 86th and Ditch. It's close to one of my favorite places, Taylor's Pub. Right behind Applebee's on the corner of 86th and Ditch. And I love Romy because, man, he lives it, and he's apparently been here a couple of times. Laura should be the bartender for tonight. Sorry, I may have been there once or twice in my life. Older place, not very big, really good food. So if you're going there to see Karpik and Dienhart tonight, ask for Laura, the bartender. We're always passing along incredible information. I took last week the Raiders, by the way. I took the Raiders and the points, which turned out to be smart. The Colts just looked awful. I expected the Colts to still win. I mean, they navigated themselves right out of a win, where now you look at that schedule. Now do you got to find one somewhere? Do you have to find another win somewhere, you think? Or is it – listen, the division is still manageable, but I'm just here to tell you that's what that team can give to you in moments. They don't have a huge margin of error for anything, and you saw that yesterday on display against a Raider team that, I'm sorry, had no business of absolutely tearing them apart early on in that game. No business. JMV, what happened to the dude that hit Jack Doyle? Well, that's Vontaze Burfict, and he was suspended for the rest of the year. They should just put Burfict Jackass. I mean, he has been just a jackass his entire career. You know, at some point, people in Cincinnati used to, like, defend him, and then at some point they just put their hands up and say, we can't even defend this guy anymore. So he has been suspended for the season for that hit yesterday. That's why he ran off and he was blowing kisses and smiling. Well done. Well done. Us from Keith Miller. Top to bottom would be mad as calling the game from the end zone. You guys are funny. Hey, JMV, is there anywhere where I can find the playlist you did on B105.7 during your takeover on Saturday? Unfortunately, there's not. I've asked before. I don't think we're allowed to put music up on our website, which I think is really dumb, but whatever. I don't know. We're not allowed to do it. The other part of the issue is I have no idea what it is because I don't make it up. I just make it up as I go along, so I don't know. I know what I played, but I don't know what I'm going to play until the final minute of the song that is playing. And I love that. I love it. Or until you tell me something, unless whatever you tell me sucks. But I wish we had a playlist for it. I just don't think we're allowed to put anything up on social, not social media. Well, social media too. Social media or a website. All right. Justin's at 239-1070. Justin, go ahead. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, John?
Great. Go ahead.
Hey, got a question. I'm going to Kansas City for the weekend. Do you think the Colts are going to get boat raced in this? And also, I know you were there for the playoff game. What kind of hot spots do you got for me for the weekend hanging out in downtown Kansas City?
Justin, let me tell you all about that. Thank you for the call. I would not know the hot spots because it was the worst day in history, weather-wise, and it was either ice or snow, and there was such a fog, I could not see from where we were right next to Arrowhead. We were tailgating to the stadium. I have no idea what anything looks like. Our bus got stuck behind on an exit ramp going up a bunch of cars on ice that weren't going anywhere. So people in this bus, including me and Tucker Barnhart and Drew Storen, major leaguers, got out and helped push these vehicles out of the way so we could get the hell up that ramp. I mean, it was, weather-wise, I have no idea. All I know is I was wet and I was cold, and the Colts stunk it up. But anytime, which I guess I'm kind of glad, anytime the Colts did anything, there would be a rain of ice balls coming in our direction from those great Kansas City fans. They're great fans. Here, let me hit you in the head with a rock. We're great fans. Tell you what, there are a lot of Raider fans here yesterday. I'm sorry, Justin. Yeah, but we went from the airport on a bus to the game and then to the game back. The weather was terrible that day, if you remember. I mean, it snowed a buttload around here. We can't handle anything snow-wise here, and I'm glad we can't because I don't want to see it. But it was a mess. I was cold and wet and got hit with ice balls. Oh, where was I? Oh, yeah, the Raiders. The Raiders had a lot of fans here yesterday. You could tell all the Raider fans. Did you notice that? They all had neck tattoos and were wearing jorts. Did you see them? I mean, everyone. Neck tats and jorts. That should be like the Raider uniform. JMV, in his presser yesterday after the game, Reich said that not only were they surprised by the first half of that game, I'm paraphrasing here, by the way, he said they seemingly had no answers for what they saw. Was this just a rare, truthful comment from the coach, or is this an indication of something else? Listen, it's an indication of something else for sure. I mean, to me, what you're saying, unless he was talking about the offense going 3 and out in their first two and unprepared to combat it, I mean, you look at your defense with your hands up if you say something like that. But listen, join the crowd. I think everybody around here is looking at the defense with their hands up going, hey, what's happening here? I mean, they're just not doing anything that works. In the last 2 weeks, let's face it, the last 2 weeks, really the only thing that has stopped either the Falcons or the Raiders were the Falcons and the Raiders. Am I right about that? I mean, it hasn't really been the Colts' defense. What has stopped both of those teams were themselves. 18 penalty flags last week for the Falcons? I mean, a gift 7 for the first score of the game for the Colts yesterday with a botched handoff. I mean, that's preseason stuff right there. The only thing in the last 2 weeks that has stopped the Falcons and the Raiders have been themselves. So, yeah, I mean, listen, I feel the same way. Same way. Hey, JMV, you mean you didn't see any places to hang out while you were pushing the bus up the ramp? I'm telling you what, and I was so ready to get the hell out of Dodge when that game was over. I didn't want to go anywhere. I hear, however, since it's on right now, I think, because it's on every moment of every day, 24/7, 365, I believe the Double Deuce in Roadhouse is a couple hours away from Kansas City, fictitiously. So you can go there and help them sweep the eyeballs up off the floor. It's from Ashley. One of the Raiders players called others egging the Burfict suspension on Greasy. Dude did it to himself. Listen, was a lot of that call made by virtue of a past history? Yes, but when you have a history that looks like that, the hammer's going to fall. The hammer is going to fall. And I know Gruden on the sideline was mad about it. You could tell he was mad about it. I didn't think he was mad at Burfict for doing it. I thought he was mad that he got tossed out of the game. I mean, he went red-faced and he was mad, and he kind of gave when they said that he was done for the game and ejected. He kind of did a hand gesture like that. You can see me on YouTube right now. So he didn't seem like he was very happy with the call. But sorry, I mean, if your history dictates that, then that's a you problem. That is a you problem, and has been and still is. JMV, the secondary left or right from an Atlanta game, this is what happens when you get zero pressure. Listen, I'm right there with you on that. No pressure to speak of for 2 weeks, and I mean none. Zero. And they are going to tear you up. Derek Carr be turned into stinking Tom Brady. Imagine what Patrick Mahomes is going to look like. Hey, JMV, can we get the Reds to hire Joe Madden? I still wish the Reds had Dusty Baker. What are you talking about, Jeff? No, probably not. I know a lot of Reds fans would probably dig it, though. Hey, JMV, Roadhouse was on TV the other day, and the great Candace Taylor was in pure amazement, man-crushing on the glory that is Dalton. Quite frankly, so was I. Well, the late, great Patrick Swayze is a one and only right there. I agree with you. JMV, I do like Matt's touchdown take when he spells out INDY. I think some of you like. I mean, listen, it'll grow on everybody. I like myself. I mean, I told him to go with holy crap on big plays, and he decided not to. I thought holy crap. Well, that would be good. I mean, but look where I am and look where he is. I mean, yeah, great. Look at the decisions I've made, all right? Drayton's at 239-1070. Rick Venturi, bottom of the hour. But Drayton, go ahead right now. How are you?
Hey, do you think Colts can score enough points to keep up with Kansas City?
Sitting here right now, Drayton, thank you for the call. I doubt it because they're going to have to stop somebody. I mean, the only thing that's going to stop this Chiefs offense next Sunday night might be the end zone. That's an issue. BT Dew says, does Justin Houston still play for the Colts? He does. He recovered that botched handoff. It was like given right to him. Was he down? Did he get whistled down or was he down? Was he touched down yesterday? Because I couldn't see. I can't see anything from where I am, but
when he picked up the fumble, I don't know whose legs were touching him, but I mean,
somebody's
no one
legs
touched
were
him with
touching.
their hand. But
I thought
it
was it Trent Brown? I thought Trent Brown, the old lineman, was standing right there, but I didn't think anybody touched him. I don't know. Doesn't matter. They went in and scored. But yeah, I mean, that score was certainly given to them. This defense just got to find something. because what it has right now is absolutely not working. Hey, JMV, I heard Reich's explanation after the game in regards to not kicking it onside. I didn't agree. This gives them one chance to win the game. If they don't get a stop, it's over. If they try the onside and don't get it, they still get a chance to stop them. Why not give yourself two opportunities? Listen, Wes, I completely agree with you, and I agreed with it at the time, and I still agree with you right now. I mean, listen, I know the percentages are low, and analytics say, but yeah, I mean, you're kicking it off, and I just think you're done. I mean, I don't think anybody in that stadium or anybody watching that game felt like the Colts were going to get a 3-and-out with the 3 timeouts and get the ball back with not much time and no timeouts and a chance to win. I would have onside, who knows? I would have onside kick it. And really, it's kind of surprising to me because, he's, such a riverboat gambling type of take chances dude. I guess what he's doing is, hoping that his defense would get a stop, but they didn't give you any impression they were going to do that yesterday. So, yeah, I mean, 2 chances certainly would seem to be, even if they're incredibly small chances, better than 1. JMV, you got to hammer the over in the Indy KC game. KC will cover that 57 alone. Certainly looks that way. Rod Perry says the Chiefs are early 10.5-point favorites. I think I would still take the Chiefs. JMV, call me crazy, but I feel like we won't really know what the Colts are with Jacoby Brissett until next year. I think we ought to give Reich and the coaching staff a full season to game plan. Listen, nobody's trying to get rid of anybody right now. I'm not trying to get rid of anybody. I'm just sorting out what took place yesterday. Because that team should not have looked like that. I don't care if it's, first year with this group for Jacoby or the second year for Frank Reich or the second year for Matt Eberflus or, the third game for Roland Milligan. I don't know. I just know this, that you shouldn't look like that. You shouldn't look like defensively. You should not look like defensively like that. Your Pro Bowl tight end has got to catch the football. Basically what happened yesterday, the Raiders came out. They came out, and with the scripted play sheet of John Gruden, they were 3, 4, and 5 steps ahead of that Colts D, and really kind of remained that way. But especially early, they just came out and did that. And again, as I mentioned, that's exactly what the Colts did to the Falcons last week. I mean, they came out and tied that Falcons D up in knots. We'll let Rick explain to you exactly how this defense is playing, why they're playing that way, and where the issues are. The other thing is, I'm not all over Jacoby, but you cannot get a pick 6 in that situation when you're down 7 with the ball trying to drive the tie. You can't. All right? You cannot. Can you imagine if last year's quarterback did that, you guys would be whining and crying all day today. Be telling how he's not a guy and can't do this, not built for this or whatever. I mean, you just can't. He's the quarterback of a team. He has played well so far, but you saw yesterday what happens when you make a guy uncomfortable, and he was uncomfortable a lot yesterday. I still like him. I still think that he can make throws, but that pick 6 was a big deal yesterday. It just was. You tell me this, Kyle. Let me ask you a quick question before I get to the phones. We'll get to Rick bottom of the hour. What was the bigger deal? What should be, because we get a lot of complaints right now about the lack of an onside kick. You said you would have kicked away like Frank did. But I'm getting a lot of people saying, why didn't they onside kick? And that's just kind of waving the white flag or whatever. What's more egregious here? The lack of an onside kick or Jacoby's pick 6?
Oh, the pick 6, no doubt.
There's no doubt. So, I mean, you can't just pick and choose who you're going to give a pass to. Listen, I know that, it's his real first year with this group, but that was a major portion of the game, and you have to talk about it. No getting around it. I mean, he hit the dude right between the numbers.
And I believe the rules for onside kicks have changed too this year. So the receiving team, they can't get a running
They can't
start.
bunch it up. They can't bunch it up.
And you can't bunch it up. You have to be even on each side, 5-5.
Yeah, I mean, anything would have been better than just kicking it away to a defense that had been kicked around all day, though. That's all I'm saying. Jeff's at 239-1070. Jeff, give it a go. What's up?
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. I'm trying to delete that out of my memory bank. That was a disaster yesterday. That was unreal. But
yeah, it's terrible.
But if you can tell Matt Taylor, I mean, I love him on the call, but if he says drugged, I mean, Marlon Mack was drugged down one more time. I mean, he said it repeatedly all season, and he needs to delete that word from his memory bank.
Drugged. No more drugged.
No.
I'm going to tell Matt that. I didn't hear him say drugged.
Yeah, well, yeah, he said drugged. He said it repeatedly at different times during the season, and every time I hear it, I go like, what? Wait a minute.
So you want him to say dragged down. He was dragged down, not drugged.
Yeah.
Drugged means something completely different, is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, that's me on Thursday night.
He was drugged. He was drugged. Jeff, thank you for the call, man. I appreciate it. Matt listens, man. I didn't hear drugged. See, I give everybody a pass in saying stuff because I sound like an idiot and my vocabulary is like 15 words deep. He was drugged. I like it. Hey, man, back in 93, so was it? No. All right, Rick's ready on the other side. We'll do that. Maybe some more calls before we're done, but if you want to know absolutely everything about yesterday and then look ahead to this Kansas City game on what they look like going into Sunday Night Football, this is the place. Everybody joins us at 4:30. It's Must Listen. Rick Venturi next.
Powered by the Hubler Auto Group, a dealer to help the people. Shopping for a new or used vehicle? Click drivehubler.com for Indiana's largest selection and best deals. Hubler has it all.
Is your business still settling for slow internet? Well, time is money. Switch to Comcast Business now and get a great deal on fast, reliable internet. With a 30-day money-back guarantee, installation when it works for you, and 24/7 customer support. It's time to take your business beyond. Right now, get 75 megabit internet for $49.95 per month for 2 years when you add 2 voice mobility lines and sign up for paperless billing and autopay. Plus, we offer solutions like powerful Wi-Fi that thinks about what customers want, and automatic internet backup that can keep your business running. So what are you waiting for? Get the internet your business really needs. Call 1-800-501-6000 today. Comcast Business. Beyond fast.
Monthly service charge increases by $10 without paperless billing and autopay. Offer ends 11/21/19. Restrictions apply. New business customers only. 2-year agreement required. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra subject to change. Backup limited up to 8 hours.
JMV for PAI. We grow hair. Andy.com. 888-724-5129. The butt cut. It is parted right down the middle and feathered back, and the comb in your back pocket days can be had again. Say you're losing it right now. You can't do it. You can't feather your hair like you wanna. You can't part it down the middle like you wanna. Talk to Darren Andrews at 888-724-5129 and get that butt cut hair rebirth today. WeGrowHairAndy.com or tell Darren that I sent you. It's your real growing hair with PAI. 888-724-5129 today.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. Mortgage interest rates are sitting near their all-time low levels. And to make it even better, your home is gaining equity at the fastest pace in over a decade. It's like a perfect storm, and there's never been a better time to be looking at a refinance. Do you still have one of those risky home equity lines of credit? Well, now is the perfect time to secure that into one low fixed-rate mortgage. thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
It takes courage to talk with that someone special when there are problems in the bedroom. Erectile dysfunction, or PE, can shatter your confidence and make your relationship challenging. You can put an end to these issues. Have the courage to make just one confidential visit to the Indianapolis Men's Clinic and get that spark back in your relationship. The doctors at the Indianapolis Men's Clinic offer the latest solutions for all ED and PE issues, and you'll see results in your first visit, or there's no charge. Call 999-9000 to meet with their licensed providers. No matter your age or your conditions, diabetes, high blood pressure, prostate cancer, low testosterone causing your issue, it doesn't matter. They can help. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic at 999-9000. That's 999-9000 or online at indymensclinic.com. Have the courage to take that first step. Indianapolis Men's Clinic, your key to a better life.
Attention, Duluth Trading Store visitors. It's our big damn birthday sale. But we kindly ask you to not feed birthday cake to the giant angry beaver. Instead, celebrate with 30% off customer favorites, including select men's and women's pants and underwear. Now how's that for a party favor? This weekend, scoot your caboose to Duluth Trading in Noblesville off I-69 and Southeastern Parkway.
John for BullseyeEventGroup.com, Colts VIP Tailgate. You guys had a good time yesterday. If you hit up the Colts VIP Tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration, I mean, you still had a great day regardless of what took place in that stadium. All you can eat, all you can drink. Celebrity Chef Aaron May with the fixins for you. Top shelf everything. I've got that. And Skids and Indiana Jones, our friend Laura Steele. It's just a party right next to Lucas Oil Stadium. It's in the Bullseye Events Center. The Colts VIP Tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. Get your next home date locked up right now. BullseyeEventGroup.com.
Tap into your inner eagle and spread your wings. With Yingling Traditional Lager, the bold amber color, 190 years in the making, all American brew. Brewed for good times with classic flavor and delicious taste. Yingling Traditional Lager is a true original. So plug in, rock out, and let the night take flight. Because Yingling Traditional Lager is good to the last sip and good to the last call. What are you waiting for? Reach for the brew that was made with good times in mind. Tap into your inner eagle. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings. Spread our wings. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please drink responsibly.
It's all things Colts with former coach Rick Venturi. The Ride with JMV. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Hey, welcome back. We got to know everything about yesterday and that disaster. And then next Sunday night in Arrowhead versus Kansas City, the unbeaten Chiefs next Sunday night for the Colts. And on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, he is Rick Venturi. Not a lot of bright lights in yesterday's performance yesterday, Rick.
No, John, there's no question about it. That one is very hard to swallow. Frank owned it right away. I mean, this was a top-to-bottom failure. Probably not as big a shock to me, although I thought we were the better team and that we would come out the victor. But I said some things to you during the week and certainly on Sunday morning when we do the pregame, and I said that the number one thing that the Raiders had going is they didn't have the talent we had. But the thing to beware of was that in Gruden they had a guy who really can carve you up. A guy who understands this system. He coached within it for years back in the 2000s. He basically carved us up a year ago. The only difference was we were able to get 42. We were able to get 14 in the fourth quarter, but he really carved us up a year ago as well. So, I knew that there was a danger in that respect. I didn't think it would probably go this way. But it's very difficult when in this league, they're all hard to win, but it's tougher when you lose to what I consider a bottom 25% team. I mean, the fact that he came in here and did that without a very good football team, and I've even said it to him today, it really was one of his finest hours, honestly, in coaching to be able to do that, which doesn't make us feel any better, but it really is what it is. I think and I said this to you and Joe Saturday morning, or Sunday morning, if you remember. I said they had one chance and one chance only to win this game, and that was to jump on us early, establish a lead, gain confidence that was fragile, that was ready to break after 6 terrible quarters, and control the time of possession with the ball, with control passing, mixes of runs. I didn't ever think they would be that successful running. I thought perhaps they would passing because they were a year ago, make a handful of plays on defense, a handful of tackles for losses, shorten the game, and hold on and win it. And, that's what they were. Unfortunately, that game plan was exactly what unfolded. They just totally dominated that first quarter into the 16-minute mark of the game with 21 points. I mean, the 7 we got, really, with the turnover, they just dropped the ball. I mean,
That's
they just
it.
dropped
Yep.
the handoff, and, Mac took the run down in there. We got the boot pass, and then they came right back and drove it on us again, and and really mixed it up. I don't know if you're aware of it. I think I may have hollered at you, but over a 36-minute period from the halftime of Atlanta until the 16th minute of that game, the Indianapolis Colts had 30 of 31 passes completed on them, which is, that's football malpractice at some point. I mean, you just can't. I mean, that's just unbelievable. And that's how you get possessed. And then while they're doing that, you start to try to play more cover 2, and they're running all those stunts because they can't take anybody on defense. And all of a sudden, that offense starts rolling on that running game, and that was really amazing. And then he stole a touchdown with that reverse. I have to laugh. I mean, Banagoo, he still doesn't know where that play is. I mean, we gave up a 60-yard touchdown, but I bet nobody got a loaf on that play. So, because we were all running.
Everybody's running really hard, is what you're saying?
We spent so much time on that instead of good sound football and knowing who has the contain, who has the force on a play like that. Because
I kept thinking about your defensive conversation with me last week at this time, and it seemed like that it only got worse, especially early. Rick, I honestly put it this. I thought that yesterday, early in those first couple of possessions by the Raiders, it was like akin to how the Colts and Frank Reich and Nick Sirianni tied up the Falcons defense last week in that first half. And it seemed like the Colts have no answers. Is that more about what Gruden was doing or more about what Eberflus isn't doing?
Well, I've been on this theme for a long time because I coached obviously defense for 27 years. And my first year, my rookie season in 1982, I broke in with one of the great coordinators of all times, the great late Bud Carson, who was a part of Chuck Noll and the Steel Curtain. I got him late in his career. He had some personal issues, but his mind was great. He taught me the game, and he had brought 3 college coaches. He was the NFL experienced guys, and 3 of us, myself, Gunther Cunningham, Bob Belisani, all came out of the college ranks. And Bud's system was complex, and it was man-to-man derivatives and check with me's, and you had to know where everybody else, and it was difficult. It was uncomfortable for us coming out of college. And, one time we had a bad game, and we were begging, we were lobbying that we would play this area zone that was more of a comfort zone for us. We could, if we could just play a little bit more area zone. And I'll never forget what he said to me. He said, "Son, let me tell you something. You play that area zone in this league," and he just didn't say area zone. He had a couple bleeps with it. He said, "You play that area zone in this league, what you're going to do is you're going to watch that quarterback complete about 1 million balls." And, I think that's really the beginning of our problem. I think we have other problems. I think we're constructed just like Ballard and Eberflus likes, which is on speed and simplicity. But the problem is we can't take anybody on. We have to stunt to stop the run, and people have figured out. So what they do is they wall those defensive linemen. They get right up on the second level, boom, and they've got it because we're light. But the coverage scheme really affects everything we do because people come out. We're very predictable, totally predictable in what we're going to do. We don't do anything to match coverages, so guys are running free into the zones. When we play man, we don't play it very well at the corners. We don't do a very good job I pointed out to you in training camp, corners play with their hands down. They never get a piece of anybody on the line, so they get beat on release. Also, they'll show the coverage most of the time. If you see Carr out there yelling, kill, 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 what he's doing is John's gotten into a formation which letting him check. So the play that he had called, he looks at that defense and he sees it's already aligned, and he checks to something else. And there were a lot of plays that were like that on Sunday that were just obviously, check with me's perfect play for the defense because, A, it's predictable, two, when you show it like they show it, that even makes it more easy to handle. Now, the other thing that happens with the zone, because all I hear now is our pass rush is no good, our pass rush is no good. And admittedly, numerically, in the last 2 weeks, it isn't very good. But here's the deal, John. Your pass rush and your coverages, and this is something that most people don't understand totally because there's a lot of nuances in coverages. You can play zone, but it can be a tight matchup zone like you play in basketball, or it can be a sit back in the area and try to break on the quarterback, which just doesn't work. It can be used as a changeup. And the reason I say that is here's what's happening. When you're playing a guy like, Ryan, and then you come with John Gruden, those are quick rhythm guys. Those are guys that are going to get the ball off in a quick amount of time. And you know that going in. I mean, that's something you see on film. You know that. I mean, historically, you know what these guys are doing. So when you play a team like that, in order to get the pass rush, the coverage has to do the job first. And what you have to do is disrupt and match and close people off in what we call the first and second level. You've got to close people off in that first phase of the route, because then when the 5-step drop isn't there, what does the quarterback have to do? Then he has to choke it down. And if he has to choke it down, then you've bought the time for the defensive line to get there. Now, I'm not exonerating the defensive line. They're not playing very well, and they were really bad against the run, to be honest with you. Terrible. But I'm telling you that the coverage, when people come in here, they know exactly what they're going to get. They have free access into that secondary. They got free access into that second level. I've been saying this forever. I had to laugh. I was so frustrated when I finished that game. I went out on my motorcycle, and I do have a Gullwing with a radio in it. So I couldn't resist. I turned it on and listened to two of my favorite guys, Rake and Barry, just two of my absolute favorites. And a guy called in, and he meant well. He was trying to make an excuse. He goes, I was with my son today, and I watched that first quarter, and that just wasn't us on defense. And I wanted to say, you know what? If you look at the last 5 games, Kansas City, okay, Los Angeles Chargers, okay, we'll take the Titans out because they can't throw against me. Then you go to Atlanta with a good quarterback, and then you go this week with a good coach and a decent quarterback, and we haven't stopped anything in those 4 games out of 5. So in some respects, that's exactly who we are. And I think until we face that and get rid of this ridiculous stubbornness and stop playing this 5 p.m. coverage. In my world we call it a 5 p.m. defense, because we feel like when you play those coverages over and over every week, a coaching staff can go home at 5 p.m. because there's no strategy involved. And that's what I see week in and week out. And that's just a starting point, and that gets you started. And that 6 for 6 on that first drive just got them going. It just got them going. And the one thing that they needed to do was get going. This was a team that had just been demolished for 6.5 quarters. They were on the fringe. This is a historically bad defense that cannot rush the passer. I mean, it absolutely couldn't rush it if you played 8 quarters. You know what I'm saying? And basically they were able to get up, get the momentum, and then at the end of the day, because even though somebody was praising us, but we gave up a 9-minute drive in the third quarter, and the only reason it wasn't 7 was that Terrell Williams dropped the ball on the slant in the end zone. He just dropped it, flat drop it. That was a pregame warm-up that he did basically dropped, or they'd have put that game away right there. And that was a 9-minute drive. So at the end of the day, exactly what I worried about when I told you there was one way to win this game ended up coming to fruition. We ended up losing the time of possession by 7 minutes. 7 minutes. And, if you go back to Kansas City, now we got them coming up. It's a different world, different game. But they held the ball for 39 minutes in that playoff game. So that's 18-minute differential. So, I think at some point we're going to have to come to grips with this, and we're going to have to make some changes. I mean, we can't change philosophically everything we're doing because we've drafted for it. But, I said this too, and when you look at the running game, I said this, we have a team that can play to the ball really well. In other words, if you're just running in a straight line, we can run stuff down, but we can't play through and to. You look at all our linebackers. They're all athletic, they're long, they're all this and all that, and not one of them can take on a block. They can't take on a block. And the same thing was true of our front. Our nose tackles were ridiculous. I mean, Hunt was nowhere, and Stewart was worse. Absolutely. That center Hudson, who's very good, he just ate them alive. So any time they ran into the bubble, they got right up on the linebackers and just impaled them. I mean, one of the plays, not on the last drive that they iced it, but the one before, that was a 1st and 15, and we needed to get them stopped, and they hit a 15-yard gain, remember, to our left. They ran the ball to Jacobs. He ran a sweep to the left. And former Colt, Denzel Good, comes out, and he sends Walker back to Northwestern and sends Okereke back to Stanford on one play. I mean, and the guy gets 15 yards on a 1st and 15 just when you need to get him backed up and get the ball back quickly. So, that was a really disappointing, day, 377 to that team, and then, the reverse, that's just unsound football. I mean, are we running to the ball? Did we get any loafs? Probably not. But we just gave up 60 yards because we're not sound. We're not technically sound. We run around good, but we're not technically sound. And it's amazing to me when you play so few defenses that you can be that unsound.
So, Rick Venturi, it's the segments you have to hear each and every week. And I got a little bit of a wrinkle. I think we're going to add some calls if you guys want to call in coming up here after 5 o'clock. I tell you what, let's take a break right now, but I want you to think about this because I've been asked this a number of times. To you, what is the difference besides the players that are out defensively right now and the way this defense is playing so far this year, or especially the last 2 games, for example, compared to the team defensively we saw late in the regular season a year ago? Is that cool? Are you good with that?
I got it.
All right, Rick, I'm going to put you on hold, and we'll come back with that. Rick Venturi, you got to hear it each and every Monday right here on 93.5 and 107.5 FM, The Fan.
The following is a district-wide service announcement from the District Tap.
The District Tap. Craft beer on tap and damn good food. Wait, hey, can we say that? Damn good food?
Yes, I'm told that damn good food is totally acceptable. Go ahead and pick it up from there.
The District Tap. Craft beer on tap and damn good food. And don't get me started on all the sports at the tap. Over 60 big screens with as much NFL and collegiate football action as you can handle. Weeknight matchups? Yeah, we have weeknight games. Looking for a spot downtown to catch that game? Get your over to our new downtown location at the corner of Georgia Street and Meridian. Game on at the District Tap. How's that?
Fantastic.
The District Tap. Craft beer on tap and damn good food. North at 82nd Street, just east of Keystone at the Crossing, and downtown at the corner of Georgia Street and Meridian. Online at thedistricttap.com.
It's 888-724-5129 and Darren Andrews. WeGrowHairIndy.com if you want the option of getting regrowth in your hair. If you want your hair, real growing hair back again, so all you got to do is call Darren. He'll explain it to you and how you can get your real growing hair back with PAI. 888-724-5129 or WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
I'm Chris Wright with CBS 4. Weather doesn't wait for the next newscast, so we make sure you're always up to date with the latest information. On air, online, or even in the palm of your hand, we're your one-stop shop for what's happening now. And unlike those national weather apps, I can tell you if the storm will hit in Hamilton or Hendricks County, Pike or Perry Township, bringing you the most up-to-date weather when and where you want it. So if you watch us on air, follow us on Facebook, or stream us online, we'll make sure you're in the know. That's Your Weather Now on CBS 4.
CBS Tonight has all new comedies starting with The Neighborhood. And from Chuck Lorre comes the new comedy Bob Hearts Have a Shola.
You're on a break.
We have 28 minutes.
So it's like speed dating.
This is not a date.
Okay, 27 minutes.
Then, she's LA's newest Superior Court judge.
You're going to be one of those creative judges. You say it like it's a bad thing.
All Rise, followed by a new bull, CBS Tonight.
It all starts at 8, followed by CBS 4 News at 11.
Hey, it's John for Eddie Moore Toyota in Avon, 5 miles west of 465 on US 36. And let Ben Mendoza tell you about how you can save and save big. I got 3 vehicles right now for $219 a month on a lease. The Tacoma truck, the RAV4 SUV, and, of course, the Camry LE, all $219 per month on a lease. What a great deal. And the ultimate fuel efficiency on this. How about $99 a month on a lease for the greatness that is the Corolla, the 2020 Corolla at Andy Moore Toyota in Avon. Check it out online, andymoretoyota.com, or tell Ben Mendoza that I sent you and get a deal you want your way, the great way, the best way. The best car buying experience ever is at Andy Moore Toyota in Avon, 5 miles west of 465 on US 36.
Tap into your inner eagle and spread your wings. With Yingling Traditional Lager, the bold, amber color, 190 years in the making, all American brew. Brewed for good times with classic flavor and delicious taste. Yingling Traditional Lager is a true original. So plug in, rock out, and let the night take flight. Because Yingling Traditional Lager is good to the last sip and good to the last call. What are you waiting for? Reach for the brew that was made with good times in mind. Tap into your inner eagle. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings. Spread my wings. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please drink responsibly.
Your home for the Major League Baseball playoffs. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. It's all things Colts with former coach Rick Venturi. The Ride with JMV. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Rick is back on a Monday where you got to listen. Some calls maybe after 5, too. The reaction to the Colts losing at home yesterday to the Raiders. All right, I asked this question as a tease before we went to a break. The big difference that you see between the defense that was making strides, especially at the end of the regular season a year ago, that has been struggling, especially in the last 2 weeks that we see.
Well, I think in some ways, and I alluded to that in the offseason, there was a little bit of fool's gold with that. In that 10-game stretch, if you go back in the early part of the season, there were 3 games with Sam Darnold and Derek Carr and Tom Brady where we lost 2 out of 3. Could have easily lost that one, and we were giving up monumental passing yardage. I think the percentage was 80% in those 3 games. I mean, and all those teams they start out the game. I think at one time Carr was 17 for 17. I think Brady was 17 for 18. I mean, just kind of like what we see. And then, basically we got the Buffaloes. We got a bunch really that in that 10-game run offensively, we really played a bunch of clunkers. Let's face it, we played some of the worst quarterbacks and concepts in the league. Now, albeit you can only be as good as who you have to play. But what happened is I think basically if you don't have teams that are going to come out and establish the pass and loosen you up and attack those zones and get you on the heels and then run it like John did Sunday, he came right out that first series. It was just boom, 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 throw it with one run mixed in there, and pretty soon they had a touchdown. But what I said in the offseason, and I said all preseason, is that this is going to be a different year. This is going to be a test now of the scheme, because when you go back and you look at the two teams that are premier offensive teams last year, and I've pointed this out a million times, I'm not coming up with this today, is in the New England and Kansas City game, the two teams that you have to play with, we gave up a ton of 61 points. We gave up 900 yards, 600 yards passing, and 300 yards rushing. So, in reality, which one were you? The team that played against, Blaine Gabbert, or the team that played against those two teams? Because in those two games, we absolutely were awful. 39 minutes of ball control by Kansas City in the playoffs. So my statement was, now this year you're going to look at a lot of different kinds of offenses with better quarterbacks. And so if you really look at what's been happening lately, this is a little bit more like we are. And the pass percentage is just overwhelming. I mean, this, 30 of 31, like I said, you can't do that. You and I could play catch 31 times and we drop 2. I mean, it's just unbelievable and staggering. And I think what it does is it puts us on our heels, and all of a sudden nothing else is very good. And then, we have, in order to play cover 2, we have to, what we call pirate and jam. We have to move those defensive linemen, which also takes away from their rush because of their run stunts. We know we can't hold up inside with those linebackers. And so we're in a little bit of a mess right now. Now, again, when you play Kansas City, you can't play Kansas City like you play John Gruden, even though Andy and John shared an office for years with Mike Holmgren. They've evolved different ways, and and because of the quarterback and how Kansas City plays, you have to have a specific game plan for them. And that's my other criticism. I don't ever see a specific game plan. I see the same defenses, whether it's game 1, game 8, game 16. We just kept saying we have to take better angles, tackle better, and all that, and we have to compete better. Compete better, yeah, but compete is not a strategy. It's an optimum effort that you want and that you hope to get. But what you got to have is a strategy to put them in the right spots to win.
So Rick Venturi with us. Quick break and we'll come back. I want to get your thoughts on how you thought the offense played, what might happen if Marlon Mack can't give it a go on Sunday night as well, because he missed a large part of that game yesterday, and the overall play of Jacoby Brissett, which I've been talking about so far before you came on this show. So, Rick, I'm going to put you on hold. We'll come back, and maybe some phone calls will work in after 5 o'clock with Rick Venturi right here for you to hear the day after on 93.5 and 107.5 FM, The Fan.
So, you're a Cubs fan. Well, hold on to your helmet nachos, because Marquee Sports Network is coming with more Cubs than ever. In fact, more is a bit of an understatement. A huge home runs landing on Waveland-sized understatement. Because Marquee Sports Network will bring you pregame, postgame, game, behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, and on top of the scoreboard. A network as dedicated as you. Marquee Sports Network, the exclusive new television home of Cubs baseball. Coming February 2020.
It's WeGrowHairIndy.com or 888-724-5129. Your real growing hair again with PRP, with multi-unit hair grafting, artist robotic FUE, and laser hair therapy with Darren Andrews and the private consultation at PAI. 888-724-5129 today or WeGrowHairIndy.com. Now.
I love Fox 59. Scott, Lindy, Angela, and Ray.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing.
Fox 59 have fun, but at the same time, they let you know what's going on right then.
Traffic, weather.
Jim O'Brien's the best. He makes it entertaining to watch the weather.
We watch it every morning.
Every day.
I always like to see what Sherman is.
I'm watching Fox 59 at 6 in the morning.
I like that it's on till 10. That's one of the great things. Not everything has to be so serious.
Love it. My favorite.
Fox 59 is the bomb.
Fox tonight.
Dad's a serial killer?
I became a profiler and hunted down people like him.
Prodigal Son, fall's most anticipated new drama returns.
I want you to remember something. We're the same.
Critics call Prodigal Son quite a thrill.
There's so much more I can teach you about murder.
I don't need your help.
But first, an all-new 911.
Oh my God.
Get off the pier!
New 911, followed by new Prodigal Son.
Tonight, starting at 8 on Fox 59, followed by Fox 59 News at 10.
You've met someone special and you're ready to build a life together. Come to Shane Company to build an engagement ring. We make it fun and easy.
In 3 simple steps, you can see your dream ring come to life. We have the largest selection for every budget, from under $1,000 to well over $20,000.
Step 1, pick a ring style. Choose from the largest selection of exclusive designs that no other jeweler has.
Step 2, select your center stone. Choose a diamond, ruby, or sapphire from thousands of hand-picked stones that we bought at the source. Because we are a direct importer, we eliminate all middlemen markups so you get the best price in town.
Step 3, add your own touch. Our non-commissioned jewelry experts will show you different ways to make your engagement ring even more personal.
At Shane Company, we make this once-in-a-lifetime experience enjoyable and memorable for couples in Indiana.
Now you have a friend in the diamond business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
John here for Forum Credit Union. Forum Credit Union, and my man Kevin always trying to find new and very incredible ways for you to save. All right, so if you're in the home buying business right now, let's say you want your own home for the first time, building your first home, whatever the case might be. Forum Credit Union has what they call a home buyer spotlight session coming up later on this month, or I should say next month, October, the final day of September here. And then in November, to give you the opportunity to learn everything you need and should know about building or buying a home. It is the Home Buyer Spotlight Sessions going on. Stop by a branch location, ask Kevin all about it, or for more info online, forumcu.com today.
Attention, Duluth Trading Store visitors. It's our big damn birthday sale. But we kindly ask you to not feed birthday cake to the giant angry beaver. Instead, celebrate with 30% off customer favorites, including select men's and women's pants and underwear. Now how's that for a party favor? This weekend, scoot your caboose to Duluth Trading in Noblesville off I-69 and Southeastern Parkway.
Hey, it's JMV for BullseyeEventGroup.com and the Colts VIP Tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. It is the best party ever. It makes your entire game day experience the best that it can be. All you can eat. Celebrity chef Aaron May prepares. All you can drink. Top shelf everything. And DJ Indiana Jones and DJ Skids along with me doing a radio show. It's the absolute best. Get your passes right now. Up next for the Texans game with BullseyeEventGroup.com.
This is Indy Sports Center. WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BB, W228CX, Indianapolis. The Colts hit the road to face the Kansas City Chiefs. Coverage Sunday at 5:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. It's all things Colts with former coach Rick Venturi. The Ride with JMV. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Rick is back after 5. Let's go ahead and log it in. We might even do some calls here later on this hour if you guys dig it at 239-1070. We'll be all over it. If you guys want to call in, we can. Colts Roundtable Live later on tonight. That is Frank Reich taking your questions via Twitter. That's Matt Taylor, the voice of the Colts. Jim Sorgi and I think Joe Wrights is also going to be a part of that later on tonight at 6 o'clock. Colts Roundtable Live right here on 93.5 and 107.5 FM The Fan. Back to Rick. Rick Venturi has been going over yesterday's really bad loss to the Raiders at home by the Colts. We've been talking a lot about the defense and their shortcomings. Let's shift gears to the offense. The running game where it was yesterday and the play of the quarterback. What'd you think?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think things that have been chronicled killed us. We got off to a horrific start, 2 punts to start the game. Absolutely, they slash in there, throw us for a loss, make a good play underneath. Must have read the formation. I don't know, must have read the position of the weak back and somehow got that slant into the backfield. We have two punts to start the game, and then they score, but then they got 14 points, so it's like 14-0 right there. Obviously, the drops were horrendous. We were never in control like we have been in other games where you just felt like that you were gonna make it. We were never in sync. Frank uses the term rhythm. I think that's good. We never could have a sustained rhythm. The drops made a big difference. You get a key 3rd and 5, you're going to make a first down, you drop the ball. We didn't have a million penalties. Obviously, the Raiders had 10, and I think we had 5. But our penalties were, again, momentum killers. Blocks in the back on a play. A holding penalty on our right side of our offensive line. It was an ineligible receiver downfield. It was always something that set us behind. Now, a couple things that I thought were killers is they did a good job of shooting people because they don't have a good defense at all. But they were able to make 7 tackles for losses, and those tackles for losses got us behind the count. I mean, the one, obviously, to start the game that everybody's talking about, the slant underneath Smitty, who had no chance on that play. The bigger one is Joyner's blitz up the A gap in the red zone, and I want to get to that in a minute. But those kinds of plays that set us back in the count killed us. We just weren't in sync totally. I think the other thing that killed us are the 2 red zone. I would say the 2 red zone FUBARs. Okay, the first one obviously is Campbell fumbling the ball. Campbell's running down there. We're in great shape. We're going in to score. Boom, he fumbles the ball. Great strip by Crosby, the young kid who was a Morse Reservoir All-Star from Eastern Michigan. Looked like Ted Hendricks yesterday, to be honest with you. But that was
you talking about Crosby?
Crosby.
I thought the same thing. Ted Hendricks.
Remember, he was one of our Morse Reservoir All-Stars out of Eastern Michigan. But he came across, made a great play on that. But Campbell's got to hold on the ball, so we lose a potential 7, and then we're down there 2nd and goal on the 6. And Joyner, we motion. Joyner comes to the middle. I don't know if he did it on his own. I really don't think it was called. And he shot that A gap, and he hit us for that 7-yard loss. And then we had to settle for a check down. And so 2 trips there to the red zone where we could have had 14. Really, realistically, we're 1st and goal on the 6th the one time. We're going to be first down with Campbell's play. All of a sudden, we get 3 points out of that. So we leave 11 on the board right there. No question about that. And then, in the end, it's 2 turnovers, and this relates, I think to Jacoby in a sense, in that we have 2, serious turnovers. The one I already talked about is Campbell's turnover, which really takes a potential touchdown away from us. And then Jacoby, who I thought battled all day. I agree with Frank for most of the day. He battled. And remember now, and I said this, they played us a lot more like Tennessee played us. They got up and pressed us. They made it a lot harder. And when you look at his numbers, he's 24 for 46. He's just barely over 50%, with a 46.3 QBR. But, at the end of the day, that's a real bad. That's a turnover that kills you. You're despite all the negatives, and I told you, I texted you during the game. I said Oakland's defense will not hang on if we just stop them and we just keep grinding. They will not hang on, and the game gets down to, a 1 possession game, and he misreads that coverage, and he throws that interception for 6, and so. Even though I think for the most part in that game he played pretty well, he got out of trouble, made a couple key scrambles, but at the end of the day, that ball comes out of your hand at crunch time, and it's a pick 6. And what he did on that, the Raiders were in man-to-man. They showed it. They were up in press, and the strong safety was down on the tight end. And when our tight end went across, and then the receiver runs the dig behind him, what the Raiders did, which is a little bit unusual for them, they played what we call a one funnel. In other words, the strong safety didn't go down there and run. Harris didn't run with the tight end. He passed him off, and they played 3-on-2. But it looked to Brissett on the first read like he was going to take him in there, which is a normal operation. But he just read it fast and felt like he was going to have that dig one-on-one, and he didn't see the rest of the play. He didn't, and you won't see it, but you have to sense that guy coming off, and he threw that strike to Harris, and really that was, although it still was interesting at the end, but at that point, that really made it a mountain to climb after that one.
Was that really, to you, the first gauge to see, all right, because here's how I explained it earlier. I thought for the first time all year, for the most part, we saw Jacoby incredibly uncomfortable. And I thought the Raiders made him uncomfortable most of the day, but especially late. And at some points of the season, we know it's going to fall on his shoulders to make plays like that. Is that the first experience you have seen with Jacoby in that situation, and how do you gauge it?
I think that's fair. And yet I don't think it's necessarily an indictment. I don't think it's, if it keeps going, it's a trend. But he's played pretty doggone good in fourth quarters. I mean, he's led us back in there. I mean, he's
been pretty comfortable in those situations. He wasn't yesterday, though.
Yeah, absolutely. He makes two great throws in the San Diego game in that long drive that we go back to, that he makes a 4th-and-2 shot. It's not like he has failed in the fourth quarter. He made a bad play, and I think he was uncomfortable because I think we struggle on offense when teams get up and press us. And Tennessee, in that second half, began to do that more and more. Teams that play off us, we just seem to just absolutely destroy. But when teams get up and press us, and I think a couple things that are really troublesome is that when you look at our two hotshot young receivers who at this point now should be performing, I think you have 5 catches between Kane and Campbell. I think you have 5 for 25 yards. You've got 2 drops, and you got a fumble. So, that production, particularly if T.Y. is going to miss ball, and this looks to me like it's going to be something that's going to linger. He's going to come back, then he's going to redo it. This looks to me like it's going to be a lingerer. And, you got those 2 guys have to come through. I mean, they have to come through. You can't, at the end of the day, when you get a press game, you can't end up with 5 catches between the 2 of them, 25 yards. Because, again, just like on offense, this is just like on our defense, this is a copycat league. And the more people see that, the more they're going to do it. And I think Kansas City will do that. They got a really good corner in Breland, and I will be shocked if they don't do it.
Well, I'd agree with you on that, too. See, it's funny. I kind of take your thought on Jacoby's game. There were times when he thought, yeah, you know what, everything's going okay, but then he just, to me, that's why both Nick and Frank making him as comfortable as possible through these first 3 games has been such an advantage for him. But without that running game and with a lot more pressure than I can remember through the first 3 games, it made it a lot tougher, especially late for him yesterday.
John, now,
and add the drops in too. Exactly.
I mean, critical drops
sure.
that and again, I agree with you. I don't know that it wasn't just indicative of the whole operation. You're right. They were uncomfortable. You were never in control of that game. Never. There's other games where you feel like, we're going to win this, and I felt like we could win it even, until up to the interception, because I just felt like that the Oakland defense at that point was just hanging on. I mean, they were just hanging on, and they were hoping for a play, and damned if they didn't get one.
So Rick Venturi via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline right now. We're going to take a couple calls. You don't mind here? You're all right?
No, let's go.
I want to take one because we're talking about the quarterback situation and the offense here with the Colts before we dive in to the Chiefs coming up on Sunday night. And Tom is at 239-1070. You're on with Rick Venturi. Tom, go ahead.
Yeah, the question I have is why it would seem to me that by now that Brissett would be looking off receivers more than he is. I happen to be sitting right in direct line with the cornerback and the receiver and he never looked off the receiver the whole time. And I think the cornerback baited him. He didn't get directly in line until he started his throwing motion, and then he just moved over and intercepted it. And you look during the entire game, and Carr was looking off until the last second, and that's one of the reasons his receivers weren't as open as they were, because our safeties and defensive back couldn't read his eyes, and everybody seems to be receding Brissett. I'll hang up and listen.
Tom, thank you. I would agree that Harris pick six. What he did, they didn't look anybody off there.
No, he did not. And I think Tom's question, and I think his observations are right on. I think that is a problem. I think that does generally come with experience. Teams come in here, Tom, and they know we're going to be in zone. So the one thing, and this goes back to the 2000s when that defense was played, is that, basically everybody knows that the linebackers are looking at the quarterback's eyes. So you train your quarterback coming in here to definitely look away, knowing exactly where he's going to go, but always look away so you freeze them. But that is something that Jacoby has got to get better at. He also elongates sometimes on the throw. It's not that he has a long arm delivery, but he has a long body delivery. He definitely did on that one. I don't honestly think that they baited him to that. I just think they fell into that coverage, and he didn't sense, in plays like that, when it's underneath coverage, you have to sense that guy. He read it too quickly. He's got to confirm that that's man-to-man coverage, and he made such a quick read, and he thought he had it. And you're right, he looked it in. A couple of those tip balls, he looks it in. So, yeah, I think Tom is absolutely right on that. I think that is something that comes with experience and confidence, but it's really something that you got to be able to do.
All right, I got a question from Twitter here. Ask Coach Venturi if the corners are good enough and physical enough to play man coverage throughout.
Well, I think you have to. I thought Yasin made a couple really good plays in man-to-man. Wilson was a disaster on that long run. He came across the field, and he looked like he was going for the flag. I thought it was my 8-year-old's flag football. Tackle the guy on the sidelines, and then he gets all turned around. Somebody mentioned today, and I think it was accurate, he's always close, and he never comes up with it. Always close, and he either gets a penalty or something like that. I also think our corners really struggle fundamentally in the way they play man-to-man. I've been saying it for 2 years. They get up in a press position, and I coach this a lot. I know a little bit about it. I worked for Saban, who's the best of all times in coaching corners. And, you got to get your hands up. You got to get your hands on release. If you get up there and you have your hands down around your knees, just watch it. I'll tell the fans, just watch it. Go get out your NFL Game Pass. Watch it. Any corner that plays with his hands down there, the first thing that happens is when that release comes up, your hands go down and out. A boxer would never play with his hands down around the knees. And we've been doing it for now a year and 4 games. So it doesn't surprise me. So sometimes our man-to-man will scare you some because we don't do a very good job of it. But if we don't play it and we don't threaten it, they're just picking cherries on you. I'm just telling you. You're just like I told you. This is another little anecdote on that, and I can't help it because I've been venting on this for so long. But I was with Nick Saban at LSU. I was the defensive coordinator at New Orleans at the time, and he invited me down to sit in with he and his defensive staff. And Nick is very, very complex, just like Bud Carson, who I talked about before, and Bill Belichick, very complex in coverage. And so their staff was uncomfortable with it too, because it's a lot easier as a coaching staff just to coach those basic zones and say it's on the players. It's a lot tougher to have to coach a lot of derivatives and matchups and things like that. And so his coaches were lobbying him that day, and they were saying, Nick, can't we just line up and play this cover 3 and this cover 2 Tampa 2? And I'll never forget, Nick looked at him and said, boys, if you put that crap in here, he said, I can't help you today, and I damn sure not going to be able to help you on Saturday because you just don't have the answers, is my point.
Yeah,
so,
no doubt.
But I think You got to coach man-to-man better. We have to play more man-to-man. And you don't always have to play man-to-man without help. You can play man-to-man derivatives where you have lean. You can play four-man where you have the safeties who can help you quickly. You can play one robber with guys in the middle. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. And then you play one man, you get up there and press and you bail, and then you match the zone coverage underneath. That's my solution. And coach them better when they are in man-to-man. But if you think that you're going to play modern-day NFL teams and not play a high percentage of man-to-man, you're crazy. And I will also, because, again, as you know, my relationship with Gruden, when he was at Tampa and I was in the division, I used to kid him all the time. I used to say that Tampa 2 was a myth because when the game's on the line, you're playing man-to-man free all day, and it's true. He would admit that. They played – in the year they won the Super Bowl, they were well over 50% man-to-man.
So Rick Venturi via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. All right, look at Kansas City. I know Detroit was close yesterday. Chiefs remain unbeaten. That's who the Colts get next on Sunday Night Football at Arrowhead. What is a major difference from the team that beat the Colts there handily last year compared to this 4-0 start team, especially on the defensive side where they have massive changeover?
Yeah, well, this is, again, when you look at them in the big picture, John, this is, probably the most, not probably it is, it's the most explosive team on offense, which with the best playground quarterback in the game. I mean, the guy is amazing. He's a creator. He can do it all. I tell you what, I go back to 1958. I can remember as a kid at 13 watching Unitas in that greatest game ever played in that last 2-minute drill against the Giants hitting Ray Berry. So I've seen a lot of quarterbacks, and I don't think I've ever seen any better. This kid can do it all. He has a great presence. He can throw it deep. Obviously, moving around, he's phenomenal. So you got that issue. We can get into offense in a minute. Defensively, they've made major changes, but there's really very little. There's very little difference in who they are. I mean, they in what the objective is. Now they've gone from a 3-4. They fired my good friend Bob Sutton after all those years. They put it on him, and they blamed him, and rightfully so. And then they brought in Steve Spagnuolo, who I was with for 2 years in St. Louis. I know Spags extremely well. I know what he does. But at the end of the day, John, they're 29th in defense and 30th against the run and 18th against the score. So, they've made a lot of changes, but they're not a great team. Now, they have a few great individuals, and I think that's where, when you get ready to play them, some things that you really have to feel like you got to do. I think, number one, I think to win this game, and a lot has to do with the question you're asking me on defense, is we have to dominate the time of possession. We lost the time of possession to them last year in January, 39 minutes to 12 or to 22. So, obviously we can't do that and expect to win the game. This is a game that we have to go in there. We can't go in lethargic like last Sunday. We have to, like we did in January, which we played an awful offensive game also in January. We've got to go and take it to this poor defense right off the bat. I mean, I think you have to set objectives like you have to, basically we've got to say we got to keep it 39 minutes. We've got to make 30 first downs, and we've got to get 31 points. Now, maybe that's a high bar, but I think if you don't do that, you're not setting a bar that you need. You can pound this team. They have one really good player up front in that front four, and that's Chris Jones. Chris Jones is not a great run player. He's going to be the 3 technique. They're going to be an over defense every single down. You know where he's going to be. You can power double him and run at the ends. Then you come back to the weak side and run at the bubble. Things that are, because everybody's playing over today, the similar characteristics will be there, and you can pound him. Now, pass protection, you better have a good plan for him in that respect. Also, Spagnuolo is vanilla on first down, and he's multiple on third down, and second down is somewhere in between. So you want to keep that ball moving on first down, and you have to have a really good mix. I just talked about those runs, but you have to be able to throw those play actions. They do. This is where they play a lot of cover 3, straight zone, and even nickel or base. They play a lot of what we call quarter, half, but it's a little bit more zone. So, the seams are there. You've got to be willing to throw those play actions. Those crosses are there. Quick screens on first down, RPOs, run. You got to keep them off balance on first down. You got to keep it moving. Now, the other really good player in there is Hitchens, a middle linebacker. We talked about getting him a couple years ago. He went from Dallas for big money. He's playing in the middle for them. He is a really good range player, really good football player. But again, you can attack him by making him run and then play, plays against the grain. They've got a pretty good secondary, actually. I think Breland is playing really good. I think he'll get up and press us. He's usually the matchup guy. I would say if Hilton was playing, he'd be on Hilton. The way it goes right now, he may just stay left. I think Ward is their weakness on the right side, number 35. I think if the money's on the table and you have to get a play, you want to go after him. Now, they've got two safeties. The young kid Thornhill, who, remember, he was right at the top of my safeties in the draft. He is a terrific young player with range. He can go get it. High draft pick for them. Outstanding young kid that can do it all. And then the guy you really have to be concerned with is the Honey Badger, Matthew. He's a guy that will be all over the place. He's the strong safety, but he can come down and play a wide out because he's a little bit of a hybrid. They like to blitz him, John. They'll run a couple coverages that are unique. I call it a funny two. They'll get up and make it look like they're in a single high, and then they'll slice to the outside and run a unique kind of two, and then he'll come down and play that deep middle. Not deep middle, kind of that intermediate middle, almost like a robber. So, we know he's a big-time playmaker. He killed us a couple years ago in crunch time. And so I would say, you got to make sure that you have a protection plan when you get into second and long and third and long, because Jones will eat us alive, particularly Glowinski, if we're not careful. That really bothers me in this one because he's a premier guy. He was 15.5 sacks last year. He had a big sack this year, a strip yesterday. He's, like I say, he's not a great run player, but he is a hell of a pass rusher. And if you go back to the playoffs, even though it was a different staff, they attack our right side relentlessly, to be honest with you, relentlessly. And what they'll do is they'll put Jones on Glowinski, and they'll take the kid they got from Seattle, his name, number 55.
Frank Clark,
and they'll put him on Smith and see if he can outrun him to the edge. I'll just tell you right now, that's what's going to happen on third down. And then on third down, you have to be really smart because he does a little bit of everything, and they play a lot of different kind of man-to-man derivative stuff, a lot of two-man, four-man, ones. I mean, a lot of different stuff, all the sugars, all the deltas, all the things we've been talking about. So, that's the challenge. That's not a very good defense. If you can stay ahead and count on them, but you have to ball control this game. We can't come in there and do what we did in January and give it up every other down. We have got to maintain that ball for a high percentage of time in this one.
Hey, quickly here, what does their offense look like without Tyreek Hill so far?
Well, they really haven't lost a beat in some ways. I mean, they're right up at the top. I mean, they're one in scoring, 2 total in the past, number one. Mahomes is number 2 with an incredible 85.6 QBR. I think with them, it's disorder. I think, first of all, you got to ban the bomb. He makes more deep throws, so you have to play coverages that take the seam, that don't let you run over the top. You don't want to let them have easy plays, and they've gotten guys like Robinson and Hardiman to come in for Tariq, and they've made some big plays. Remember, the funny thing was Andy 3 years ago did not have a touchdown to a wide receiver. Now they're throwing it all over the park with Mahomes. I think the other thing that you got to have ban the bomb, number one, the old 60s, the old 60s logo. Ban the bomb. No, that number one. Don't let him get cheap plays over the top. Then you have to have a plan for Kelce. I mean, when the money's on the table, Kelce is the premier guy in the league. They're going to move him. They're going to put him in the overhang. They're going to get him out there. They're going to put him out there by himself. And, if you don't have a plan for Kelce, then you're just not working at it. Set the edges. We just gave up a 60-yard reverse, for a touchdown. If you remember in the playoff game, we gave up a reverse to Hill, Tariq Hill for a touchdown. So they know our edges are weak. The other thing is they've done a great job of adapting and getting Shady to play. I mean, they lost Damian Williams for a month, but Shady has come in there and he played for him in Philadelphia. He likes playing for him. And McCoy has given him really good football. I mean, and the thing about when I say the edge, McCoy is he doesn't quite have that sixth gear, but he's got 5.5, and he's got great vision. And if you sink that edge, he'll be out there in a second. So, no bombs, plan for Kelce, protect the edges. And then, I could talk about the flats. They do a lot of things with screens. They use screens like running game. The one thing they don't do the ball very well this year, they just haven't run it as well, although they killed us in the playoff game. But the biggest thing, I think, is you got to keep Mahomes in the tunnel. You have got to squeeze. When Detroit played him best Sunday, and I know that guy's a Belichick disciple, so you always have a 4- and 5-man rush plan that is not just a blitz plan, but a rush plan. And at times they did a really good job of keeping him squeezed in the pocket. What you want to make him throw from the deep well, and that's not to mean that he can't complete them, because he can't. But what you don't want him is running in those seams or running outside of that defense, because when he does that, then, buddy, you are in trouble. When he starts extending plays, you can't hold the coverage. I would recommend that all the fans watch the first play of the second half in the Detroit game yesterday, and you will see this playground guy at his best. He scrambles out. He gets out around our right, which is deadly, around our left. He's scrambling. He throws the ball back 35 yards across his body to Kelce, who by now has gotten open across field. Kelce catches it, feels the defender, pitches it out, not even planned. This is playground. Pitches it out to Shady, and they get about 60 yards. So what you don't want them in is a playground. You want him squeezed. I'm not as concerned with sacking him. They've got a decent offensive line. If I had to rush on one guy for the game, I think I would rush on the right tackle, Swartz. I don't think he can handle power to move inside. But if you do that, you have to have your inside tackle who will cover you to the edge, because you just don't want this guy on the edge. If you're letting this guy on the edge or you're giving him big seams to operate in, then, again, you haven't done your work.
Rick Venturi, awesome breakdown of the Chiefs right there, and fantastic with what you always do. I knew it was going to be good considering our back and forth yesterday. So I knew it was. I got a lot of work to do, Rick. A lot of work.
But you know what? One thing I know, I was going to text you today, and then I got carried away on the Chiefs. I was going to text you. The one thing we've done after Sunday's game, we gave them every reason in the world to look beyond us.
There's no doubt about that.
That'll help us.
No doubt about that. As always, awesome, buddy. Thank you.
All right, talk to you later this week, John.
Rick Venturi. You got to hear it each and every week. You just did right here. And 1075thefan.com for a podcast of it. Rick Venturi every Monday. Quick break. Back with you next.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
It's Big Joe. Right now, for every window you buy, you get the next one free. No limits and 0% financing for 36 months. Call 317-659-8191 or go to universalwindowsdirect.com. And like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Tap into your inner eagle and spread your wings. With Yingling Traditional Lager, the bold, amber color, 190 years in the making, all-American brew. Brewed for good times with classic flavor and delicious taste. Yingling Traditional Lager is a true original. So plug in, rock out, and let the night take flight. Because Yingling Traditional Lager is good to the last sip and good to the last call. What are you waiting for? Reach for the brew that was made with good times in mind. Tap into your inner eagle. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Spread my wings.
DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please drink responsibly.
All right, who out there wants some real growing hair again if you're losing it right now with guaranteed results? But again, real growing hair. That's what Darren Andrews and the gang at PAI offer up here. It's the truth. If you don't want it, that's okay. All I'm giving you is the opportunity here with multi-layered hair grafting, Artist Robotic FUE at 888-724-5129. 2 procedures that I don't really know at great length and have too much depth about, but I know it works. I know that Darren Andrews will explain it all to you in full detail at 888-724-5129. Why not? If you want your real growing hair again, this is your option. WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
Is your business still settling for slow internet? Well, time is money. Switch to Comcast Business now and get a great deal on fast, reliable internet. With a 30-day money-back guarantee, installation when it works for you, and 24/7 customer support, it's time to take your business beyond. Right now, get 75 megabit internet for $49.95 per month for 2 years when you add 2 voice mobility lines and sign up for paperless billing and autopay. Plus, we offer solutions like powerful Wi-Fi that thinks about what customers want, and automatic internet backup that can keep your business running. So what are you waiting for? Get the internet your business really needs. Call 1-800-501-6000 today. Comcast Business. Beyond fast.
Monthly service charge increases by $10 without paperless billing and autopay. Offer ends 11/21/19. Restrictions apply. New business customers only. 2-year agreement required. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra subject to change. Backup limited up to 8 hours.
I'm Chris Wright with CBS 4. Weather doesn't wait for the next newscast, so we make sure you're always up to date with the latest information. On air, online, or even in the palm of your hand, we're your one-stop shop for what's happening now. And unlike those national weather apps, I can tell you if the storm will hit in Hamilton or Hendricks County, Pike or Perry Township, bringing you the most up-to-date weather when and where you want it. So if you watch us on air, follow us on Facebook, or stream us online, we'll make sure you're in the know. That's Your Weather Now on CBS 4.
CBS Tonight has all new comedies starting with The Neighborhood. And from Chuck Lorre comes the new comedy Bob Hearts Have a Shola.
You're on a break.
We have 28 minutes.
Sounds like speed dating.
This is not a date.
Okay, 27 minutes.
Then, she's LA's newest Superior Court judge.
You're going to be one of those creative judges. You say it like it's a bad thing.
All Rise, followed by a new bull. CBS Tonight.
It all starts at 8, followed by CBS 4 News at 11.
Hey, love my friends at Connecticut. We were up there Thursday, had a fantastic time, and a lot of people got some great deals. And here is the next great deal for you. Are you ready? For the best water possible with Connecticut, you can get that. And for a limited time, buy a Premier Series water softener and get the K5 drinking water station absolutely free. I'm going to tell you what, the in-home drinking water station is a game changer for you, especially if you wanted to drink more water, be more hydrated, and are sick and tired of messing around with water bottles day after day, time after time. A Premier Series water softener, and you get a K5 drinking water station free, again, with a purchase of a Premier Series water softener today at Connecticut. 2 locations to serve you, Northeast Side, Castleton, South Side. That is US 31 and Southport Road. And online for Joe, John, and Dennis, ConnecticutIndy.com today.
So, you're a Cubs fan. Well, hold on to your helmet nachos, because Marquee Sports Network is coming with more Cubs than ever. In fact, more is a bit of an understatement. A huge home runs landing on Waveland-sized understatement. Because Marquee Sports Network will bring you pregame, postgame, game, behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, and on top of the scoreboard. A network as dedicated as you. Marquee Sports Network, the exclusive new television home of Cubs baseball. Coming February 2020.
The Ride with JMV.
Are you kidding?
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
1st and 15.
Chubb with running room. Chubb to the 40. On his way to the end zone. 88 yards. And if you hadn't noticed, Nick Chubb has a second gear.
I guess so. He put up 39.5 yesterday because my man Golden Tee that I'm playing right down to the wire tonight for Monday Night Football got a sweet 39.5 against me with Nick Chubb of the Browns. Greg Gumbel right there, CBS with the call. Browns get the good win, put up a lot of points, and a lot of that offense was due to Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb, 39.5 points, at least in our league, and I'm down 7? I think I'm down 7 tonight, and I got the Steeler D. Can I score 7+ points with a Steeler D against the Bengals? Like, I have zero thought about watching this game other than that. No, I mean, it is awful other than that. Can I get 8 points out of this Steeler D? 9 points, 10 points. You know, and again, a lot of you are watching. This has been an awful weekend NFL-wise for the wagerers out there, too. Hey, speaking of Chubb, did you see Bradley Chubb done for the year with a torn ACL? For the Denver Broncos, the winless Denver Broncos. And, man, how about Jacksonville turning the tables in the second half, down 17? Impressive. Everybody within the AFC South at 2-2 right now. So, again, there's a lot of complaining, a lot of moaning, a lot of criticism of the Colts today. At the very least, everybody's 2-2. It stinks because you could be 3-1 and just wondering how you may look against the Chiefs. Instead, you're 2-2 and wondering how bad you're going to look, especially defensively against the Chiefs. That is what happens in a nutshell right there. I'll tell you what, I saw where this, do you know who Stacey Dash is? The actress, Stacey Dash. I always thought she was so smoke. And then I just saw this mugshot of her after she got arrested for battery, and she doesn't look so smoke right here. What happened? Back in the day, I thought she was smoke. Like the 90s, she was smoke. Doesn't look like it now. Yeah, unfortunately. JMV, I was disappointed this weekend because we go to a gala or a gala. I know which one's the Southern Indiana pronunciation? Gala or gala? Which one's Southern Indiana? I'm going to take the Southern Indiana one. Should I say?
always called it gala, but now that I think about it, I bet you gala is more Southern Indiana than gala.
I bet gala is much more ritzy. Gala or gala? Anyway, so Mike's at this thing, this shindig. I'll just go, that's Southern Indiana for you right there. So Mike's at a shindig, and they had a package to spend some time in studio with me. And Mike's wife would not let him bid past the $400 threshold, and he lost out. Bummer, man. Bummer. Sorry about that. I go to apologize, too, and I was just telling Kyle this during the break. I finally got one. Like, Emma Schaefer has been sending me stuff regarding the Children's Bureau 22nd Annual Cook-Off, and I had not been getting anything. And now I get it. I think my junk file took it. I would have shown up. I hope I can still show up. I was showing up tomorrow in like a gray V-neck shirt, which would be me. I don't even think I can be there an hour before. I don't know what's going to happen there. I'm going to have to go. I'm going to go, though, and have fun. I think I'm going to go and hang out with I thought I was going to hang out with Smiley on the Smiley Morning Show. My friends over there. We shall see. JMV, can you give me a playlist of the JMV Takeover on B105.7 on Saturday night? I can't because I don't have it. A couple of things working here. One, I don't make a playlist. I just play it as we go, which is awesome. either with me or requests. And what's not so awesome is I don't think we're allowed to put a playlist up on our website, which is just dumb as hell. But, you know, you guys want entertainment. I mean, we're trying to get you really hard to go someplace else for it often, right? Hey, just go someplace else. Hey, wait a minute. You want live radio? Yeah, we'll just voice track it. So, yeah, go ahead and use your Pandora or your Spotify because, I mean, hell, live, local, and late breaking, we're not. That's why you guys got to embrace this. I mean, we are live, local, and late breaking when a lot of other folks around here are voice tracked since 10 a.m. Love us. Embrace us forever, no matter what type of stupid things come out of our mouths. At least we're live. So why is this stuff now popping up here? I feel bad, Emma. I'm sorry. If anybody knows Emma Schaefer, I'm sorry, Emma. It probably made me look like a jackstick for about a month. Frederick says this, Stacey Dash was most definitely a smoke show in the 90s. I thought so, too. Hey, it's from Matt, JMV. I'm heading to Indiana Grand to collect some Sunday winnings. Who do you like? The Steelers? I like the Steelers tonight because I need like 9 points. I need the defense to score 9 points tonight. So, come on now. Can your defense not shut down the Bengals? Come on. Hey, speaking of Indiana Grand, I'm there on Wednesday. Wednesday at Indiana Grand in Shelbyville. Thursday at Twin Peaks, Northeast Side in Castleton. And Friday down in Greenwood at the Stacked Pickle. Got Texans tickets for you coming up on Friday. We'll do the Larceny Locks and the Luna Azul Shots coming up on Wednesday at Indiana Grand in Shelbyville. And I'll just be Twin Peaking it coming up on Thursday, which is always good. Looking for you there, too. Quick break. We'll come back. Wrap it up. Again, Rick Venturi, 1075thefan.com. If you missed a minute in what was a disappointing Sunday, Colts Roundtable Live will explain that coming at you at 6 o'clock next.
At Dreyer & Reinbold Infinity, you can purchase the 2019 QX80 with 0% APR for up to 60 months. You can lease the 2019 QX50 Lux all-wheel drive for just $459 per month, then KF147088. Or you can also lease the 2020 QX60 Lux all-wheel drive for just $499 per month, then LC509604. Leases based on 39 months, 2,500 down, 10,000 miles per year plus tax. No security deposit, requires approved credit, and $199 dealer dock fee. Offers expire at the end of the month. You can lease the QX50 for $459, the QX60 for $499, and QX80 for as little as 0% APR. At Dreyer & Reinbold Infinity, I-465 in Keystone, and US 31 South in Greenwood, or at DryerReinboldInfinity.com.
When I say you should get your furnace tuned up every year, you might think I'm just blowing hot air. But studies show yearly tune-ups can actually make your furnace last a whole lot longer. So if you haven't had your furnace maintenance this winter, give the experts at 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning a call. It's the best way to make sure your house stays warm this winter and many, many winters to come. And here's some more reasons to call them. 1 Hour Furnace Tune-Ups pinpoint potential problems way ahead of time. You get the regular maintenance, and that can prolong the life of your system. Their techs, more importantly, know Indianapolis well. They know what you may need for special attention in this environment. They're total pros, courteous, respectful of your home and time, and they stand by their work. If you know your system needs repair, they have a straightforward pricing guide so you'll know what you're paying for before they even start. Right now, just $79 for a furnace tune-up. $79. Now, don't wait for the winter weather to get here. Call my friends at 855-1-HOUR today and schedule a $79 furnace tune-up. 855-1-HOUR. Terms and conditions apply. Call for details. License 800-10668.
Let's get you some hair growth. Hey, I know, dudes, seriously, over 35, you kind of start growing hair in places where you don't really want to grow hair or need to grow hair. And unfortunately, you lose it where you want to grow hair and you'd like to have hair. It's kind of a weird dynamic working, but luckily, Darren Andrews and PAI, they have something you can do called multi-unit hair grafting and artist robotic FUE that will put the hair back where you want it. Real growing hair again with PAI. 888-724-5129. I'm kind of wondering if they're going to really like this one or not. I kind of do myself, but I'm wondering. I'm trying a new one out here. 888-724-5129. Hey, they regrowed the top of my head nicely. They can do you as well if you want your real growing hair again with PAI. WeGrowHairIndy.com or 888-724-5129 with Darren Andrews today.
The Marian University Knights are under the lights this Saturday, October 5th, for a top 10 matchup against the third-ranked St. Francis. Ranked number 6 nationally, the two-time national champion Marian looks to defend the Franciscan Bowl trophy in the NAIA Game of the Week against an always tough St. Francis. Kickoff from beautiful St. Vincent Field is at 6 p.m. and tailgating and kids' carnival begin at 3. Fun for the whole family and great football action. Reserve your tickets and tailgating spots now at MUKnights.com.
Hey, it's Dan Doggett here for Steffi Hadaway Insurance. Did you know that life insurance is the best way to give tax-free money to family and friends? It's the best way to give it to your favorite charities, nonprofit organizations, or your high school or college alma mater. Don't put off buying life insurance protection for another day. Give Mike Steffi and his team at Steffi Hadaway Insurance a call, 317-334-3743 today, or shiagency.com, and tell them Dan Dockett sent you.
Hello, it's John here for Farm Credit Union. Talk to Kevin about all the ways that Farm can help you save and potential home buyers, potential home builders. This is for you, a home buyer spotlight session. In fact, more than one, a couple in the month of October and November. My friends at Farm Credit Union can see how you can better yourself in preparation for owning your own home, for buying, for building. It's the home buyer spotlight sessions going on with Forum Credit Union. All right, stop by a branch location, ask Kevin all about it, or for more details on the home buyer spotlight sessions, log on forumcu.com today.
Are kids better off in an intact family? You bet they are. This is Joe Cordell of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. Kids living in a household with married parents do better in school, they're emotionally healthier, and they're more likely to stay out of trouble with the law. If you're in a troubled marriage, of course you should do everything you can to save your marriage, if only for your kids' sake. This includes considering alternatives to divorce. Of course, in some circumstances, divorce is unavoidable. In either case, if you're a man facing a crisis in your marriage, let us help you at Cordell & Cordell. Remember, we're the partner men can count on.
Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Indianapolis area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 317-322-0122 or visit online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Indianapolis. Cordell & Cordell, 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1100, Indianapolis, Indiana 46204.
Coming up Tuesday morning on the Fan Morning Show with Jeff and Big Joe, more fallout from the Colts' loss to the Oakland Raiders. Be here bright and early, 7 a.m. on 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
It's Jim Perry. Now talk to him, damn it.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
Venturi was so good today. Podcast 1075thefan.com. My apologies. I'm going to be there tomorrow. My apologies to Emma Schaefer of I guess you got it. Is it Sapporo? I've told you this before. If it's not named Hardee's, I probably sure as hell can't find it. Sapporo on the north side. I am there with a bunch of others tomorrow, and we are cooking. So I apologize. I have not sent back an email, but I think a lot of them ended up on my my email address is the same for everybody, and sometimes it all gets mixed up together, which sounds like complete and utter incompetency, and that's it. Thank you. That's a long-winded version explaining just how stupid I am. This is some great stuff I got yesterday. This is from Jeff Miller. Let's see where I can start on this one. This is at 8:30 a.m. You took the Colts not to cover. You will be wrong. Carr sucks. He's on a short leash. You know an offense stinks in the NFL. Tight end is the main target. I'm going to Anderson. Thanks in advance for being a moron. JMV sucks. I'm going to try to give you this chronologically here if I can. That's 8:30 a.m. At 4:25 in the afternoon, Ballard sucks. Cannot draft defense worth 10 cents. At 4:26. How you impressed? Grigson's drafts better. 4:27. Name a single class Ballard has had better than Grigson. He hasn't. 4:28. Quit kissing Ballard ass. 5:32. I said something to him. Ha ha. I told you the Raiders would cover. You lost, jackass. Ah. Jeff Miller. That's seriously. How about that? Is there anything better than that? 8:30 a.m. This is what a local team and this is what happens with the fandom here. You took the Colts not to cover. You'll be wrong. Carr sucks. He's on a short leash. You know an offense stinks in the NFL when the tight end is the main target. I'm going to Anderson. Thanks in advance for being a moron. JMV sucks. And then the tone changed completely. That's Jeff Miller, everybody, right there. Rick Straw tomorrow, Rick DeMulling tomorrow. I'm back in studio tomorrow. Can't wait for that. Again, shout out to you guys on Saturday night. It was awesome. I had a great day Saturday at Anderson. Saturday morning, 10 until 1 with the folks up at Harrah's Hoosier Park in Anderson. That was a great time. But Saturday night, Chris Woolridge ran things, and we did an all 80s, all request Saturday night party with a JMV takeover on B105.7 and knocked it out of the absolute park. I'll see if I can get a playlist for you. You guys have asked if I can put what I play in my voice in your store locations. I'll see if I can figure that out. Once I figure out what goes in my junk email doesn't necessarily go in my inbox, I'll get right on that. Colts Roundtable Live, Matt, Frank Reich, and the gang. Top of the hour next. Great job, Kyle. Back with you tomorrow in studio at 3. Have a great night.
Hey, it's Dan Dockage for Family Leisure. It's the Grill and Outdoor Living Sale happening right now. Great buys on umbrellas, gazebos, pergolas, and pavilions. The Grill and Outdoor Living Sale has barbecue islands that are priced to move.